How's it going, everyone? This is Precisely Podcast, a podcast about beer and video games. I'm your host, Bo, and with me, as always, we got the ratchet to my clank, Kelly. How are you?
Aw, thank you. I am great, thank you. This is fun.
This is fun, right?
I like that ratchet to my clank. That was good.
Yeah, I feel like that could be on like a Valentine's Day card, you know?
Yeah, from 2002 when that game came out.
Yeah, something like that, you know.
I like it.
How about that intro song, though?
Oh my god, dude, I was just thinking the same thing. That intro song was ripping.
Right? So yes. That's from our new producer. Wah, 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 wah. We got a producer. And his name is Sam.
No, I'm just kidding. We did not sell out.
No, we didn't sell out. No, one of my friends, Sam, who was on a previous podcast, I forget what episode, and I didn't have the time to look it up. He had a real deep, sexy voice, though, that I've heard from other people, other listeners.
I get Sam that a lot, too.
Yeah, right? Sam reached out to me, and he was like, hey, are you guys looking for a producer? And I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, I want to edit your podcast and make them sound great. And I'm like, cool. I would love that. I can't pay you anything. And he's like, that's fine. I just want to make your audio sound good because I believe in you guys. So that's awesome. And he also made this intro song that was great that we just listened to.
Shout out to you, Sam.
Yeah. So thank you, Sam. And listeners, if it sucks, it's Sam's fault. Okay. But we have a special guest today.
As always.
Yes, as always. I've been looking forward to doing an episode with this gentleman since I've first heard his angelic voice. He makes up one half of one of my favorite podcasts, and he is the reason that I started Precisely. Let me introduce you guys to the delectable Dank Dan from the Purple Dungeon Squid podcast. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, hello, Bo and Kelly. Thank you for having me on podcast. It's been so long in making. I'm just so pleased.
Yes, I love that. Angelic voice indeed.
Now, normally I do the silly Canadian accent for my podcast. Would you like me to do this for this podcast, the character Dank Dan?
No, please go back to your Canadian self.
Okay, let me get into character. Oh, hey guys.
Hey!
I am so friggin' stoked to be on this recording. This is one of my favorite podcasts. I tune in every episode, and I'm here in the almost flesh now, which is rad.
Yes. The flesh that we can be right now during this pandemic.
Yes.
The dark times.
The earlier comment was the vocal flesh.
Yes, the vocal flesh.
And you know what's great about the pandemic, honestly, is that it made me learn how to record remotely.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we're able to have guests on that I wouldn't be able to see you. Like, when would we actually be able to sit in the same room together, you being in Canada and us being in Pennsylvania? You know?
Yeah, it's kind of a distance. It's not as far as you think. Like, I can be in Florida in like 14 hours from where I am right now. Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
Does that count the time that you have to offer up maple syrup before crossing the border? Because I know that's a big thing.
Well, I always have my syrup pouches filled to the brim with syrup at the ready, so I can deploy it. Bam, bam. A little fun Canadian thing that is just like, I sent this article to all my international friends, and it's when a huge tractor trailer full of maple syrup was hijacked by organized crime, like last year.
What?
Yeah. And so like maple syrup, like actual real pure as the driven snow right out of the tree maple syrup is worth like, the tanker was worth like $500,000.
Wow.
What a heist.
Yeah, so it was a heist indeed, and I think they tracked these sticky bandits down. But I just had to fire that off to everyone because it's the most Canadian article you could possibly read.
It gives a whole new meaning to sticky fingers.
It does indeed. Put that on your flapjacks.
So wait, I need to know more about maple syrup and how expensive it is. Is it all in one tankard, like a gas tankard, or is it all in like separate jars?
I think in this situation, and I'm not sure, so I'm just going to pull it right out of the sky.
Please,
I think it was like a tanker truck that you'd find like milk or gasoline in.
Wow.
Yeah, because I don't know if you know
what
how.
do you do with that on the black market? You got to fill up mason jars and then try to sell it behind. Yeah, like
a lot of pancakes.
Yeah,
hey,
like what's the end game?
We have this maple syrup, like how can you even get rid of it? Like, oh, I'm selling maple syrup for $5 under price. Like what? Like how much does it go for?
It's expensive. Like if you're thinking like the former Aunt Jemima size bottle, that would be like $12 or $15.
Jeez.
Yeah, and it comes in different color grades.
Right. Yeah,
there's like light maple syrup, there's dark maple syrup, there's all kinds of things.
Bo, have you ever looked at during the farm show? There's a whole booth about maple syrup, and they can just go over there and try maple syrups in and out. It's wonderful.
No.
Oh, next time.
Okay.
Next time they have an in-person farm show.
Yeah, no, honestly, thinking about maple syrup and my cabinets where I store maple syrup, the one is a glass maple leaf jar. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that was probably, I don't know, maybe I got it for a gift, but it's small, but it was probably $10, American. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. But to cut it up into small things, or do you sell it in gallon buckets to your friends? And then they split it up like little heroin bags. How do you do it?
Street value of syrup probably is a little higher than the grocery value.
Now, Bo, first things first, you got to cut it a little. I put a little 10-to-1 Aunt Jemimas in there. Bada bing. You got yourself a little more profit there. Forget about it.
Oh, I love
it. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, besides maple syrup ice and stuff, what have you guys been up to recently?
Well, Papa D got himself a new phone, a new iPhone 11. Not a sponsor,
nice.
But
congrats.
Thank you. It should be like an anti-congrats. I hate getting a new phone, Bo. I hate it.
I agree with that.
I believe it.
I'm really against getting new phones too.
Yeah, because it's basically my old phone. I went from a 6 to 11, and it's so much money. It's like 5 times as much. Do you know how many PlayStation 5s I could have purchased with this? Like two of them. Mm-hmm. And it's just this little thing in my phone, my pocket. It's just a web browser and a phone caller. That's all it is. It's not going to launch me into space.
You know what, though? When you take pictures with it, it looks so damn good.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. My sweet, sweet lady was actively mocking my photos. She's like, let's take a selfie and put our heads together, take a selfie. She's like, oh, I forgot your phone is basically an Etch-a-Sketch. So we'll take it on my fancy new hotness. She's on the Samsung side of the house. I'm on the Apple side of the house. And not because I love Apple, but because they got me early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
And now I'm too scared to go away. What will I do in the brave new world without all my contacts and all my apps?
Yep.
All those contacts of people that you met 12 years ago that you're never going to talk to again, but you need that.
Need that.
Yeah, I understand.
Kelly, I can tell you and I cut from the same cloth on this one.
Oh yeah, 100%. I have so much anxiety when I get a new phone because I'm like, what happens if everything's different? It's not going to be, but what happens if everything is wrong and everything is different? And I'm just like, oh my God. And it is a ton of money. And it's just, I feel like it's a big undertaking too, because you have to go out and you have to physically get the phone usually and sit in the mobile device store or whatever carrier you have, and you spend an hour sitting there and they're activating it or whatever, and then they're trying to sell you on all these other plans and you're like, I don't want this, I'm already poor enough, can't you see I'm barely scraping by with my iPhone 6 over here. And then you're like, they're like, well, here, you can't leave without a case. And you're like, you're damn straight I can't leave without a case because the old one doesn't fit the new one. And it's a whole thing. And it's just so stressful.
For a second there, Kelly, I thought you said you can't leave without a kiss. I'm like, I think you're getting Me Too'd as well in this operation.
Yeah, right?
I understand the anxiety.
Yeah, that might be a little bit much. But, the service there at AT&T, not a sponsor, but wonderful.
I got this bad boy sent to me in the mail, so I didn't go through any of that. But what I did go through is after I select my phone with the appropriate discount from all my accrued credits for being such a good little boy and not buying a phone for 5 years, they're like, oh, just one last thing. You'll just have to sign this agreement at the bottom of line. And I'm like, oh, more agreements. It's 80 pages. They know I'm not going to read it. I know I'm not going to read it. Click, click. I'm pretty sure I agreed. I sold my soul. I'm with a local Canadian provider. Kudo. For a little bit longer. At least till my firstborn comes along.
Is it called Kudo?
It is called Kudo.
It's probably
that sounds so Canadian.
Part of that contract probably does have to be sealed with a kiss, so they might come get you.
They might come in for their smooches. And you know what? Yeah. I'm in for a smooch.
Okay.
All right.
Even in these dark times.
Yeah, it's a real roll of the dice, eh?
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, stranger. I'm not leaving without a kiss.
Oh my. Oh my.
It's great.
Yeah, I'm still rocking an iPhone 6 and it's fine because my wife has an iPhone 11. So if I need to take a nice picture for Instagram, I just ask her for her phone and she rolls her eyes way far back into her head and gives it to me.
So nice of her.
Yeah.
She's a lovely human.
She is. So it's fine. Kelly, what have you been up to?
I haven't been up to too much. We just got a new car in the house. It's not my new car, but it is a new car under this roof. So that was exciting.
I saw it. It's exciting. Lovely.
Yeah.
It's a Subi, right?
Yes. I brought Scott into the Subaru side of the world, which I will never leave again. I've strayed once, and it was such a mistake. But yeah, no, he got a 2021 Subaru Crosstrek, and it is really a beautiful car. And they look so nicely parked together in my driveway. My parents have a new Subaru too, so like the three of them sit all nice together. It's 2019, 2020, and a 2021 all in a row. It's super nice.
Now, a group of Subarus, is that called, like when you get you got enough cows together, it's a herd.
Yeah.
If you have
like
enough
a murder of crows, yeah.
That's right. A bunch of Subarus, is that considered an outback of Subarus?
I would say probably. Ooh. Yeah.
All right. Did you know that Subaru was the first car manufacturer to openly market to ladies who enjoy the company of other ladies?
Oh.
Very progressive. Back in the 90s.
They are very progressive. But, you know, also that's very marketing pointed, because a lot of ladies that enjoy the company of other ladies are also very outdoorsy.
Mm-hmm. I've read that somewhere. So they recognized like 5 groups of people that predominantly bought Subarus, right? And I think it was like doctors and outdoors people and like ladies that enjoy the companies of other ladies, teachers and educators. So they targeted those 5 groups of people with all their marketing. So it was like featuring the car's ability to go, you know, a little bit off road, that there was lots of capacity, that they felt like the idea that a Subaru was like sturdy, but not too flashy. And then in some of their media print, it was like just like a couple of gals that, you know, were in front of the car, and it was subtle. It wasn't all the way out there. It was a very gentle gay advertising, and it kind of like it sort of like was the first of its kind.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that I'm going to have to look this up more now, because I didn't realize they were so progressive in that advertisement perspective. One of my favorite advertisements from Subaru that I ever saw was, I think it was like a 1992 Impreza, and then they have Kyle MacLachlan from such gems as Dune, and he was Agent Dale Cooper in Twin Peaks, which is one of my favorites. And he's just like propped up like real casual on the side of an Impreza, and it's just like so late 80s, early 90s. It's just amazing that he's just like jiving out there on the side of this car.
Was he wearing a red velour jacket?
No, I wish. I think he was in like a white jacket or something, but it was really quite a stellar piece of art.
Yeah, that's exciting that you guys got a Subaru. When you posted about it and you're like, we're a Subaru family, I'm like thinking about my black Nissan truck and Kayla's black Toyota RAV4, and I'm like, we're just a black car family, black vehicle family.
That's
But
fair.
I like that. Like we're matching, and
Yeah.
like I have like black rims or hubcaps on my truck, and I told her, I was like, I want to get yours like liquid dipped, I think it's called. So we're like completely matching, like just like all blacked out, like get her windows tinted too.
Oh, that's cool.
Be a little fancy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool that we have the same make of car. It definitely fits our lifestyle, what our needs are. So I'm glad that we went towards that instead of any other options out there on the market. It was a good choice, and now they kind of match in the driveway, and it's cool.
Yes, absolutely. So I just got back from a little mini vacation in Ohio, Pennsylvania. It's like up north.
Ohio's.
Yeah, for the longest time I thought it was in Ohio, but it's actually in Pennsylvania. It's close to Pittsburgh. What's really cool about this area, though, it's like a bunch of different state parks, one being Ohio State Park, and they have a bunch of waterfalls, which Kayla and I saw at least 4 of them. Some we had to hike to. It was thunderstorming like 90% of the time while we were there, which was a little disappointing. But with thunderstorms, it'll rain down real hard and crazy, and you just wait, a half an hour, and then the sun comes back out. So we were able to wait out some of them. The one waterfall, though, we hiked 3 miles down to see it, which it took us a while just to find like the trailhead. It wasn't really marked that well. And we were the only people on this trail. And finally we get to it and we're like, oh, this is great. The wind's blowing the trees. I'm like, we should probably leave. And then sure enough, it just started downpouring on us. I'm like, great. So we had to hike back out of the mountain 3 miles upwards in a torrential downpour, but still had a really good time. I actually did a natural water slide. So it's like 50 feet of rock that water is flowing through, and either so many people have slid on these rocks that they're worn down, or it's just the water. But it's like a little like chute in the rocks that you can slide down. And the water level was like a little too low. But if you look at Kayla's Instagram, Kelly, since you follow her, you can see me like actually like picking up my legs and like sliding down these rocks. And it was so much fun. Like I felt like a kid. It was great.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. No complaints.
So, Bo, Ohio Pile, that's where that Franklin Lloyd Wright famous home is.
Yep.
Falling water.
Falling water. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that?
I've been to it before. So because of the coronavirus, they weren't doing any indoor tours, but we drove up to it because we were trying to kill time at one point, and we knew we had to like make reservations to do an outside tour, but it was thunderstorming. So we didn't really want to do that, but we pull up and they're like, oh, do you have a reservation? No. And they're like, oh, well, it's fine. Like you can still go in. It costs $20. And we're like, $20 to like just walk outside, to drive around it. Oh, to walk outside. I'm like, okay, like maybe. And I was like, $20 per vehicle. And they're like, no, $20 per person. And I was like, no, like not in the rain. Like it's beautiful. Like you can see it from the pictures online. If you search up falling water, like it's beautiful architect with a waterfall, like going down the side of it, like crazy building. But yeah, we opted out of it because we were just trying to kill time before we could check in to the cabin Airbnb. So yeah.
Nice.
We did not see it in person this time.
How buck wild is that, by the way? Do you have a reservation to walk around the outside of our house?
During a thunderstorm. That's going to cost you $40.
40 bones.
Like, yeah, no thanks.
That is like one of this, like a spot that I do want to see in some point in my life. The house is super, his architecture is just really impressive.
It really is. It's beautiful, but like I said, you can search online and get the true meaning of it without spending an arm and a leg.
That's exciting. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. And I mean, just to go up there, it was like a 2.5 hour drive, so not far at all. Yeah. But we are a beer podcast, so let's crack open our beers if we haven't already. I know I've been drinking. But what are you guys drinking on? Dan, how about you?
Well, I picked up a very special brew, especially for this occasion, this podcast.
Yay.
And it is from a local here to Ontario brewery called Beau's Natural Brewery, I believe it's called. And I'm drinking on Beau's Country Vibes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, an amber lagered ale. And this thing is like a kind of a malty mouth feel with like a crisp back end with a lot of sort of balance in it. Like, let me get onto this thing. Yeah, it's like a teeny bit sweet on the nose. It's like for a malted amber lager, it's pretty smooth drinking and balanced. And like, that's the sweet spot for me. Like, I want my beer to be flavorful, but I don't want it to be like issuing a challenge to my mouth, daring me to drink it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So this is an Ontario brewery that's up near Ottawa. I don't know if you guys know the layout, but it's just like on the east end of Lake Ontario, but then north up into the woods, because around 1812, Canada got a little bit wary of our neighbors to the south and decided we couldn't have our capital right on Lake Ontario. We had to put it inland a little bit up the St. Lawrence Seaway. So we have this deep in the woods capital for Ottawa. And so it's half the way up there in this place called, I think it's called, give me a minute. Like Vank Leak Hill, Ontario. Yeah, halfway to Quebec, basically. And they use all organic ingredients. So this is certified organic by the Organic Canada or Organic Council of Canada and the USDA. So they get all their hops and their malts. They're all pesticide free. And this is about as natural a beer as you can get.
That's awesome. And that's how I would brew beer too.
Heck yes.
Being a Beau's Country Ale or whatever you said it was.
So it's it's Beau's Country Vibes. And
Vibes, yes.
Just to correct my butchering of the name, it's Beau's All Natural Brewing Company.
Okay. And what's the ABV on it?
I think this kid rolls around 4.7%.
Okay. Awesome.
It's nice. It's late.
Yeah.
What's the brewery scene in Canada? Is it like America? Do you know?
It's blown up. Like probably
same.
about 10 year ago, you started to see a real expansion. Like, we always had some foundational breweries. Like up here, there's Sleeman's that goes all the way back to Prohibition. They were whiskey and beer runners back when Prohibition was on. Canada never had Prohibition. Too many fur traders and Frenchmen for that. So, like actually my family ran a brewery for a while there down near Presqu'île National Park called Presqu'île Brewery. And you can probably find, there's probably like 200 really good ones in Ontario.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So there's like a fair amount of them, and like, you could probably hop in your car anywhere from Toronto and be in range of 20 or 30 good ones. They kind of hunker down around Toronto. And then there's breweries through the country, because of the Canadian Shield, we have quite a bit of spring water that gets pushed through the granite. So you get this really high quality spring water, which Beau and Kelly, makes all the difference in your brewing procedures.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I need some Canadian beer in my life.
Well, buddy, if you ever find yourself north of the border, I'll take you on a little beer jaunt. That offer's extended to you there, Kelly.
Great.
Sounds
I'll bring
good.
the maple syrup.
Why would you bring maple syrup to Canada?
The offering to cross the border. Duh.
Words of callback.
I thought they like Hershey's chocolate.
I mean, we can bring Hershey's chocolate.
Now we have a Hershey's chocolate factory here, we got one of those, but I will
it's
never
not
say no to chocolate.
It is
That's
not
true.
the Hershey,
Fact.
which is really not really made here, but shh.
You've crushed me with science, and I can't oppose you.
Sorry. We'll bring some from Chocolate World, so it'll be like it's the real experience, but it's not.
Yeah, you know what? I wonder what else is famous from PA. Like, what's PA's move that puts
God.
them on the
Let
map?
me tell you.
Snacks. A million snacks.
Pretzels. Snyder's.
Chips.
Pretzels. Chips.
You got Utz, Martin's, Hers. Those are all Pennsylvania.
The Weekenders, which are like the best
Middlesworth,
barbecue chips.
Yeah.
Middlesworth.
Are these all chips?
These are all chips.
Yeah, chips and pretzels. And then
Snacks.
we also have Lebanon bologna, which you might not know what that is. A lot of people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of an Amish thing.
Okay.
Where it's like, it looks red with like white specks in it. It sounds really weird, but it's a lunch meat. And it's super good. It's like smoked bologna.
Sweet, kind of smoky.
Yeah.
Very good.
Now, on a scale of like natural to processed, where does this fall into it?
Oh,
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
It's probably 100% processed, like
very processed.
Because you said Amish or like Mennonite or whatever you mentioned. That sounds to me like this salt of the earth. Like they ground up a cow and put some magic in it from the fields. Or is it like Schneider's like industrial plant? We made a slurry. We put some color into it. I don't know where we're at.
We have no idea. Yeah, we have no idea.
I mean, you can get it at the grocery store, and that kind is probably processed to all hell.
Sure.
But then you can get it. I mean, you can get it from smaller butcheries and stuff, and I'm sure that's a little bit more natural. But the Amish are not known for a very healthy style of cooking. It's just lard everywhere. So I can't imagine, even if it is au naturel, it being very good for you.
Yeah.
So let me ask a different question. If I ate 5 of these, how would I feel?
Like slices of Lebanon bologna?
5 slices is no big deal.
No, that's fine. I had 4 slices on my sandwich yesterday.
You roll those things up with a little like cheese stick. That's a great snack.
Or peanut butter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, peanut butter? Really?
Peanut butter? You're a wild man, Bo.
I've never had that.
You gotta try it. Peanut butter roll-ups with Lebanon bologna.
I don't know about that one. I don't like peanut butter unless it's like, I like peanut butter by itself and when it's with jelly or like ice cream or something sweet, but like, I don't know. Like even peanuts and like pad thai kind of stuff, it's not, I don't know.
You like to be selectively nutted. You don't want to be just nutted everywhere.
Yes, it is exactly right.
All right, so the beer that I'm drinking is from Thomas Hooker Brewery. I bought this for you, Dan.
Nice.
It's called Sizzling Hippie Nelson Citra IPA, and it has a guy at the bottom of the can wearing peace sign, sunglasses, bandana, and it looks like his head's just like smoking out.
Oh, hell yeah. And you actually hit the nail on the head because a little known Dank Dan secret is my last name is Thomas.
Oh, nice. I love it. So yeah, this is like a juicy, hazy IPA. It weighs in at a 6.4%. And it has flavors of white grape and citrus. And I like it. It's good.
White grape. I'm digging that.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Like a little winey, like wine taste to it. It's solid.
Like
it's chill.
A crisp finish is what I'm feeling off that.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds good. I have just a little basic, nothing special, but the 1985 IPA from New Belgium.
So good.
And I know I brought you some of these over on your birthday, which reminds me, and I'll tell you here, because we're not on cameras or anything, so I can't give it to you, but I have your birthday gift. It finally came in the mail, so I have to give it to you.
Ooh, thank you. You didn't have to.
Well, I wanted to. So the beer is 1985 IPA from New Belgium. So it is a, 6.7 ABV. And the can art, I think, actually is it's one of the coolest can arts out there right now. I love it. It's super 90s, 80s looking little. He's got like neon, like little Cobra Kai jacket on, a little fanny pack, little shutter shades. I like it. But it says on Untapped that it is like totally loaded with juicy mango flavor. 1985 takes you back to the future of hazy IPAs. Buckle up. It's made with Citra, Simcoe, and Cascade hops. And I felt it was fitting to drink on the podcast because, I mean, 1985, the year of the NES, seems like a pretty good reason.
There you go.
So, yeah.
And I had my last one yesterday that you gave to me for my birthday, which yesterday was Dank Dan's birthday. Happy birthday, man.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Happy birthday.
I appreciate that. Yeah. For my birthday, I like to play golf and then eat Indian food and then watch as much Batman as I can with my sweet, sweet lady until we fall asleep. That's the move right there. Thank you.
Great day, actually.
That's how I like to do.
I just got back into golf, actually, this week.
You golf, Kelly?
I do, yes. I do. I have not golfed for about 20 years, but I'm getting back into it. And
how old are you, Kelly?
Yep.
What?
Yep. No,
So
I golfed when I was a kid.
Like 8.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I golfed from like the ages 5 or 6 to like 10.
Nice.
And because my parents were super big into golf, and they got me, my sister to do like golf lessons and junior golf, leagues and stuff like that. And then I decided I was, a little jerk, and I didn't want to do anything my parents did, so I stopped. And then I decided, hey man, it sounds like it'd be pretty good stress relief to just hit this little ball with a club and watch it go real far. So I went and hit golf balls with my mom today, and I still got it.
That sounds fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've actually never gone golfing before besides mini golf. So.
Well, if you ever want to learn, I'll teach you.
It's got some good stuff that you would love, Bo. Number one, it's outdoorsy as hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're in the sun,
like
it's beautiful, the wind's blowing, and nobody's bothering you. Number two, beer is highly encouraged, almost core to the sport. I don't know if you're a cigar guy. I am. Cigars also welcome.
Used to be.
Yeah. Got off that wagon, eh?
Got off the nicotine.
Good man.
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah, it's been since December since I've had anything nicotine. So, yeah.
Congratulations. Now, the other thing that I have to share with you guys is I was that young whippersnapper when I was like 12 or 13. I started hating on golf so hard. Anyone was going golfing, any of my friends, I would make fun of them, how bad of the sport it was, how stupid it was. And like, I would make very bad jokes. Like, I was like, you know why they call it golf, right? Because shit was already taken. Like, other really bad goofs like that. And then it turned the corner, and I forget why did I end up going golfing? A group of my friends were going for some reason. I think it was a bachelor party, and it was kind of non-optional. Like if you were opted out of that, you opted out at all the festivities. And I went and did it, and I loved it. It is so satisfying to smack that ball with your driver and just to see it sail. Glorious. It's glorious.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to eat all my words because everyone had heard me bitch about golf for like 20 years. And they're like, all right, you're in now. You're one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Golf is good.
Yeah, someday. I like frisbee golf, actually. Have you guys ever done that?
I have not.
Is that called frolf sometimes?
Yeah, or disc golf.
Disc golf. That's what they call it in Europe.
Yeah. So you have a bunch of different discs, like a driver, mid-range, a putter, just like regular golf. You're hiking in the woods, and you have nets or baskets that you have to hit. And a hole-in-one is when it actually like hits the net and goes into the basket, almost like sort of like a basketball hoop, but like a 360 without a backboard. And it's fun. I mean, drinking is encouraged too. Not that you're really allowed to half the time, but it's encouraged. It's free, so you don't need a club membership. You just need the actual disc.
Yep.
And you just go out. Yeah. And there's a bunch of different parks around us, Kelly.
Yeah. I've seen some disc golf nets, baskets, whatever you call them, when I be out, like walking around at a park or something.
It sounds like
Yeah, it's fun.
golf for someone who would enjoy to hacky a sack, perhaps.
Yes, absolutely.
That would seem that way, yeah.
So let's get into the Purple Dungeon Squid podcast and what you guys are all about. Before we do the interview with you, Dan, one of my favorite parts about the podcast is your sponsored ad reads. And these sponsored ad reads are fake. They're funny as hell. You've done them almost all of your podcasts. For a little bit, you didn't, and I demanded them to come back, and I'm glad that they did recently. So your co-host, Andy, says a series of words that he makes up, and you improv whatever is on your head with those words. So are you down to do this with us? I don't know if I really explained it that well, but like I think just doing it, people will know what we're doing.
Yeah, no, you got it totally. It's for our podcast that didn't have sponsors yet. We wanted to, in our show notes, we had a spot for sponsors. And as a joke, Andy filled in a bunch of fake sponsors, and then I did them. So it became enshrined in the podcast. And you told me it was one of your favorite parts, and I think it'd be awesome if we did it. So yeah, let's see how I do.
All right, sounds good. I am ready. So now for our sponsors. This episode of Precisely Podcast is brought to you by Velcro Shoes for Adults.
Hi. Ever since I put this crayon way too far up my nose, tying my shoes has been a big hullabaloo. Now, with Velcro shoes, it's no problem. Ready to go, Mom.
I love it. Watering your plants with Gatorade.
Are you watering your plants with just water? You idiot! It's time to get extreme. Your plants will be able to play frisbee golf. Be extreme downhill on whatever you have in the building. If you're not watering your plants with Gatorade, you better die. Offer now available in Kroger in the plant murder aisle.
Oh, I love it. Kelly, you got one?
Yeah. Brought to you by 3-day-old Chinese food.
Hi. Have you had food poisoning recently? No? I direct you to your fridge. That Pad Yang Sung, it's not getting any better. And let's not kid ourselves. You're not above eating that food. So get in there, champion. It's free, and you're not going to go anywhere else.
I love it. Brought to you by licking the back of a frog.
Hey, Tom, you feel anything yet? Yeah, no, I can see the devil too. I don't think we should have done that. I don't think we should have done that at all.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was good.
That was amazing.
Very well done.
That was so great. So we actually do have a legitimate sponsor this episode. Laurel Highlands Pour Tour reached out to me earlier this week. So their new Pour Tour is it's their second year doing it. It begins Friday, September 18th during Greensburg Craft Beer Week. They have 17 breweries participating in the Pour Tour, and their full list is on their website. So if you just search up Laurel Highlands Pour Tour, it's up where Ohio Pile is, Pittsburgh area, bunch of different breweries, and it goes until the end of 2021. And each brewery that you go to, you have like a little stamp card. You get a sticker or a stamp at each brewery, and you can turn in that stamp card for prizes. So they have bottle openers, t-shirts, and an insulated growler. And personally, after hearing about this, I am planning on visiting next year to do the Pour Tour with my wife.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely awesome. I love any reason to go on a brewery tour where you hit
binge drinking
multiple breweries in a day. Yeah, but like also just like seeing a new brewery is just so exciting, and then trying their flagships and just enjoying it. It's just, and then you get to go to the next one. Oh, it's just such a good time. So this sounds, I'm looking at the list of the breweries. I have not been to any of these, and I definitely want to go. It looks
so one of one that I recognized off the list was Voodoo Brewery Company, which is in Pittsburgh. Really cool brewery. They have like a bunch of arcade games inside. All their walls inside are graffitied. They even have like murals on the ceiling. So it's like the 16th Chapel, but with graffiti. Really good beer though too.
Hey, homie, did you just say the 16th Chapel?
Yeah, I did. Is that wrong?
It's the Sistine Chapel, my dude. You're like, those 15 other chapels? Pure shit. This is the one.
This is the 16th one.
God bless you. Bless your heart.
Made. Oh my
it's just, that's how it's always been in my life. So
I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah. Either way, let's get back to you, Dan. This has been a long podcast already, talking about nonsense. We're 42 minutes deep into it, and I'm loving it. Yeah, I'm loving it, honestly. So give our listeners a rundown of what Purple Dungeon Squid is. Like, what does an episode sound like?
So the Purple Dungeon Squid is a podcast about weed and video games. So we kind of took the two things that we had the most authority to speak on, which is in truth very little, and the things we enjoyed the most, and we slapped this together, me and Andy. So something you got to know about me and Andy, we've been really good friends for about 15 years, and we always have a project going on. Like it's a writing project, or like we used to have this podcast, this website called Geek Safari, where we play board games and review them. So we're always doing something, mostly because Andy is such a structured guy. If he doesn't have like a reason, quote unquote, to be doing something, he won't do it. Like I couldn't call up Andy and say, come chill at my house. He's not a chill guy, but what he is a project guy, and he'll put both of his shoulders into it and make a project happen. So we're always making something up for an excuse to like hang out and do our things, because he's got kids and he's got like a really big time, important job and no extra time. So we started this podcast in a warehouse near the airport, and just threw the thing together. So we basically, we jockey around like we have on this podcast. Then we review a couple games. We smoke some strains live on the pod and like review them a little bit. And sort of the conceit of the podcast is Andy and I get really high and then try to hold the podcast together into some reasonable recording. And so that's like the challenge to ourselves the whole time. And by the end of it, we usually have something that's reasonably, entertaining and hopefully funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's super funny. It's like I've said before, it's one of my favorite podcasts, and it was the first podcast that got me listening to podcasts. I think I started talking to you guys on Instagram when I started my page, and you're like, come on into this group chat. And ever since, we've been in the same group chat together talking about your guys' episodes. And eventually I was like, you know what? I want to do my own podcast, and I want to do it similar to you guys, but with my own take. And that's why I started precisely with beer and video games, because I like drinking beer.
You know what, man? Like, you hit the ground running with such a stellar podcast, so well put together. And I think it helps that you're just such an awesome dude, just like a really great guy, like easy to talk to, which translates so well on the pod. And, Tony was great. And then, Kelly comes in, and she's such a great addition too, that I really enjoyed like listening to it change and become what it is today. And like in my heart of hearts, Purple Dungeon Squid and the Precisely podcast are like sibling podcasts. You know what I mean? Yeah.
We're like
cousins.
a sister cast. Yeah, that too.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if I should call it a brother or a sister cast, but I think sister cast sounds right.
Right. Yeah. I think,
Yes.
well, because most people say it's like a sister so-and-so.
Mm-hmm.
I think sister cast would be the right term.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we
So,
can say
yeah.
Precisely's pronouns are her then.
Sure.
for it.
Okay, cool.
I really don't care. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. So weed and video games. How long have you guys been doing it for?
It feels like forever.
Yes.
I know. It's probably like what you really got to understand is like you've been around for about a year and a bit. Does that sound right?
A year and a half now. Yeah.
Okay, so we've been around for about 3 years, and we have almost the same amount of episodes.
I think we have more episodes
Oh,
than you
it
guys.
hurts. It hurts. I try to soften the blow on myself, but yeah. So you guys are more consistent producers. But yeah, we've been doing it for about 3 years, and we've been sort of getting really, the truth is, every 3 weeks we probably put out an episode.
Yeah. And you know what, though? Like, when I first started listening to you guys, you might have been like 6 or 7 episodes deep into it. And I listened to all of them and I'm like, where's the next one? Where's the next one?
Mhm.
And just pushing for it. But it's a podcast, and it's also like us as well, Kelly. Like, it's a podcast that doesn't really age because we're not talking about news heavy stuff. Like, you guys sometimes bring it in, but usually you're like a month late to your news.
That's right.
Like, you're talking about something that happened a really long time ago.
That's correct.
When it comes to news.
Hey, Andy, did you hear the Berlin Wall came down?
Yeah, right.
Gorbachev was there.
Breaking.
Yeah. You're like, the PS3 is going to be announced. Oh, wait, no. But no, either way, like, it's a podcast that people can go back to and listen and be like, oh, yeah, this is a great game that they're talking about. That's not necessarily a new game that they're reviewing. It's just a game that they picked up and sounds great to me. So now I want to play it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we almost called the podcast like two blowhards, like, because
No.
he and I just go on forever and ever. But the truth is like we come at it as like we're not experts. We're kind of just like gamers, and we're
casual.
We're smokers, and we kind of throw our opinions out. And you know, Andy works in the weed industry at a high level, and I have a very strong IT background, and we have very different opinions about just about everything. So you kind of, no matter what side of it you're on, you're probably going to hear an opinion that you haven't heard before, and you're going to hear one that you probably agree with a little bit. So it has a kind of thing where it works in that way.
Yes, I agree. So where did the name Purple Dungeon Squid come from?
It's funny you should ask, because Andy and I are sitting there in this warehouse by the airport and listening to planes go overhead, and he's arguing that the name has to be perfect and have perfect SEO, and it has to be the first thing you think of, and when you hear it, it's got to tell you everything that you're going to talk about in the podcast. And I had the total opposite opinion. I said, it actually doesn't matter what we name the podcast.
Yeah.
In fact, the weirder we name it, the better. I could come up with anything. And he had like a list of like things written down, which I have to say are like, were really, really good SEOs. Like, they would search on the internet really well. And he's like, okay, we'll come up with one right now. And I'm like, Purple Dungeon Squid. And he's like, that's actually really, really good. And and that's how it came about. It was just like
that.
So
you just pulled it out of your ass and
right out of my ass. Like, it kind of like, purple is kind of like a weed thing. Like, if you think of purple weed, that's really good weed. Video games, you know, Dungeon Squid kind of feels like a video game sort of sprite. And if you look at the podcast art, it has that sort of neon NES vibe to the logo. Same with the intro song. So we just folded that in because we were gonna fight over it forever. So we just threw it and just ran with it. And I honestly couldn't think of any other thing to call it. Like it today, right now, if I could go back and change it, Purple Dungeon Squid is perfect.
Yeah, I love it. And it's easy enough to remember. It's catchy enough, even though it's like a bunch of different words.
Yeah, there's actually no other podcast that has the word purple in it. So
what?
Yeah, like if you type in purple, like we're on Spotify and iTunes, and if you type in purple in podcast section, nothing else starts with purple. At least it didn't the last time I wrote. So we're on our own.
I love it. So, because you guys do weed and video games, have you ever been too high while recording a podcast? Because you do smoke halfway through each episode.
Oh man, 50% of the time I'm too high. To be honest with you, like Dank Dan sounds like he's a dude that smokes all the time, but I don't actually. I smoke pretty sparingly, but I do smoke for the podcast, and I do enjoy it to blaze every now and again. But the weed that I get given is like this nuclear weed. Like, we're getting like 33% potency Chiba. And so I dive too deep on ganja about half the time. And like there's a point in the podcast at some point you can hear like the airlocks blow on the Purple Dungeon pod, and we're like floating in space. Like
Yes.
you can see like when I start to ask Andy if he thinks I'll ever be able to go to the moon, and he without without hesitating says, "Nah, you're never going to the moon." And I'm like really offended. I'm like, how dare you besmirch my trip to the moon? That's when we're just like just a little too high.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some episodes where I'm just like listening to you guys and I'm like, oh, yeah. Like either Andy's like not listening to whatever you're saying and you're going on this big spiel about something. And then it's Andy's turn to talk essentially. And he's just like, yeah. It's like, bro, like Dan's been on it for 5 minutes straight and you just have. Yeah.
Nah, it's hard to know with Andy because bless his heart, sometimes he just stops listening at the soberest of times.
Yes,
God bless him.
too. Yes.
That's one of his moves.
Yes, that's his superpower.
He's got, how some people have like multitasking minds? Like you can be thinking about a thing and doing a thing and maybe talking to someone. Andy has the power of singular focus, which is great because he can dive into a task and he can be at it he'll look up and the sun will be down and he'll still be working. So that's the superpower side of it. But the other thing is you could be talking to him the whole time. He's getting zero. He's getting nothing.
Yes. I love it.
So on the game side of it, though, what's your earliest memory of gaming?
We had an Atari 2600 in my house, and I wish I was thinking about it because I knew we'd be talking about it on the cast today. Like, where did that thing come from? I called my dad. I asked him. I called my mom. I asked her. No one has any idea where this Atari 2600 came from, and the games we had for it were like, they're more like the mere suggestion of games, you know, at that age. Like I had one that there's like, it's like a cowboy and it's like, you're looking at them from the side and you have to get your little square white or like reticle on them and hit the button before you get killed, and you never could. So I'm like, but there's no explanations for this. But I was so fascinated by the games. I would play them over and over. There was really no way to even quote unquote progress. Like even Jump Jet, it's just like, it's one level that kind of recirculates type thing. But my imagination was piqued. And when I heard about the Nintendo, I sort of begged my parents for it. My mom was like a hard no. She's like at the time was a deeply fundamental Christian, and that just sounded like the gateway to the devil in her mind. She's recovered a bit now, but so it was a hard no. But then here comes Grandma in the Christmas back door. Boom, the present's there. The present gets open. Me and my brother are losing our minds because here's a Nintendo. And as a mom, it's too late. You can't put that lightning back in that bottle, right? So we ended up with an NES, and like the rest is history. That sort of really started me down the gaming path.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
So do you have a favorite game that you love to play or genre of game?
You know, I think it comes down to like systems. Like for all the old school systems, I really love side-scrolling brawlers because having a brother that's really close in age, 2-player was the way we kind of always had to go. And the nice thing about NES is there's just this plethora of 2-player games. It was almost assumed, you know what I mean? Like your game better have a second player so strongly that like Mario got Luigi, and it's basically a 1-player game where you're taking turns. They're just like, you better make it 2-player. They're like, yeah, we can figure that out, I think, you know, they kind of crowbar it in there. Old school games, you know, I want to say that like I love RPGs, but I don't play that many of them these days because a lot of like it feels like the formula has gotten a little bit old. But when I think of what games I'm playing, anything that comes out, especially because we have the podcast now, anything that's coming out, I probably buy it and play it. Like I don't know about you, but I have never before the podcast played a like sports game, like went out and bought one with my own money and put it in the tray. But
no,
because
never.
We're doing the Purple Dungeon Squid, I own the show 2018, and I kind of like it. That
The
said,
baseball game?
yeah. What got me into it was they made it like an RPG because I could make my own pitcher and make him however I want to look, and then train him however I want, and then get that fastball going up to 100 miles an hour. And then what I realized is baseball is like this complicated game of rock, paper, scissors with other stuff added on. So it's like fastball, change up to throw him up, inside fastball. So it became like I actually started to love baseball because of the show 2018. It like dragged me in.
Interesting.
Kind of wild day. But if I'm trying to answer your question, I kind of love all games, man. I don't really play sports games, but other than that, I'll play anything.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Kelly, are you there?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, sorry.
I wanted to give Kelly a beat too.
No, my thing closed. So do you collect games, Dan? And if so, what are your favorite systems?
If you ask my sweet, sweet lady, I collect games, but compared to you guys, not at all. I would say my favorite systems down the line, anything before PlayStation 1, before N64, I'm a full Nintendo guy. I got an NES with probably somewhere in my basement, like 350 titles.
Wow.
Because my mom one day came home from church with these 2 Rubbermaid bins of Nintendo games. And what had happened was some of the other kids that went to our church got in such bad trouble. I don't know, like listening to rock and roll or something, that their parents had given away all their games, and they had like a ridiculous amount of games. So I went from having like 5 games, Double Dragon, Contra, and Duck Hunt, Super Mario, and what's the karate one? Is it just called Karate Kid? It's the one.
There's just Karate.
Yeah, that's the one.
Black Label one.
Yeah, where I think it's side scrolling, and you can get past the first 3 levels, but then it's the birds, and the birds will just murder you. You have to there's this low kick move that's like completely the cheap move, but eventually all you can do is the slide kick, where you're like cha 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 cha. I'm doing a terrible explanation of this thing. But
is it River City Ransom?
No. It's pure side scroll, like 1D. You don't have that like anthropomorphic sort of 3D effect. But
yeah, I think it's just Karate that you're talking about.
Yeah, I think you're right. And so then we had in my mind, we had every game that ever existed, including some really niche Christian titles. Like I had this game called Bible Warrior, and it's like Dragon Warrior, but you're going around and picking up the armaments of God, which like pulls from Bible verses, where like there's this verse that's talking about like bringing the word of God as like your shield and your faith as this sword. So these have been turned into literal items and scattered through this RPG world where you're like picking up these items to eventually go up against the ultimate evil. And I gotta say, it wasn't that bad.
So, yeah, I actually just came across a couple of these titles. I found King of Kings and Bible Buffet recently and popped them
King of Kings.
And it was quite an interesting time, I gotta say. So, I can only imagine what that was like.
I think,
do you know?
Go ahead.
Do you know King of Kings?
Yeah.
Do you know like what you do in it?
King of Kings is kind of buck wild, as I recall.
Yes.
It has this like super solid background. Not like the assets are pretty few, like far and few between. And then, you're riding like a camel, and your camel spits as like a weapon, and you're dodging like cactuses.
Yeah.
It's a wild game.
It was weird. The other thing was it would like pop up random, like Bible trivia questions. And for me, I was not raised on religion, so I'm just like guessing, but somehow getting them all right. So I was like doing pretty well there for a hot second. And I was like, maybe I've like subliminally like taken this in somehow from something. And
You're
know
like Bathsheba. That feels like a good answer.
Yeah, sure. That looks right. That looks like a Bible something. Yeah, we can do that.
This is
wait.
Go ahead.
Which game is the one where you're Moses and you're throwing baby Jesus.
Let's find out. I'm going to Google this thing because
Yes.
it might just be called Moses.
No.
Oh, Bible Adventures NES.
Yes.
Yeah.
Three wisdom tree titles, or 3 or
Yes.
4, I think.
It's a light blue cartridge, and you would buy it like all these Bible games you would buy from like a Christian bookstore. Like they weren't officially licensed by Nintendo, but some Christian guy had a bunch of these cartridges, I guess, and wanted to get it into the hands of Christian kids. I don't know.
Well, that
weird.
alone staved away the devil from your Nintendo system.
So
true.
This is like something that Christianity does is they haven't come up with anything new since like, hey, instead of feeding kids alcohol, we'll give them grape juice instead. Because communion used to like legit give everybody in the church wine. So you have like kids drinking wine. They're like, that's their latest innovation. Since then, Christianity's been playing defense, right? So pop culture comes up like something like rock music. And they notice all these kids wanting to watch rock music. We'll make something just as good, but Christian. So you get like all these Christian rock bands like DC Talk. You ever heard of that? I believe it's Direct to Christ Talk. And I legitimately had some of their tapes. And, you know, it actually wasn't that bad. But they're doing this on all fronts. You know what I mean? They're like kids these days. They're loving those Vigimo games. We'll make our own Christianly video games. I think the problem is when they go and look at the source material, there's some buck wild stuff in the Bible, like Moses that gets put like in a basket and then sent down river. His parents are like, you don't have much of a chance. Let's put this baby in the river. Or what's another good one? Like I forget if it's Isaiah or something. I think this father is being tested by God, and he's like, "All right, you're gonna have to take your son out into the mountains and then sacrifice him to me. You'll do it because you love me, right?" And he's like, "Okay, God, like this is pretty tough, but we'll go do it." So he takes his son all the way up there, you know, and he's right about to plunge the knife into
and
his
God's
son.
Like, nope, don't do it.
Psych. Talk about an awkward walk home,
man. Yeah.
What the hell was that? Well, God told me that I had to kill you as a test of faith, and I was going to do it.
And God was also in that burning bush, and that's how he told me. So
we'll get ice cream on the way home, and it'll be fine.
That'll be all good. The thing about the burning bush is, so in that part of the world, there's something called the acacia bush, and it actually has psychedelic compounds in it. So if you did sit by this burning bush, you might talk to God.
Yeah. Was that in your podcast, or did I hear that somewhere else?
We may have talked about it. This is the kind of on-topic conversation we might have.
Yeah, because I just learned about that. So it was either you guys or maybe Joe Rogan. I don't know, but yeah.
JRE definitely talks about it. He does.
Yeah, I'm sure. I just listened to his most recent podcast on Spotify today. It was his first episode and went for 5.5 hours.
Dear Lord.
And I work, and I work with one headphone in, one headphone out, and I usually have to like turn the headphones off to like talk to a customer or fellow employee or my boss. That podcast lasted me the whole day at work, and that never happens. Like I'm just like, this is going on forever, but it was super funny. Highly recommend this most recent one.
Yeah, I'm glad we can give some amplification to this up and coming podcast.
Right? Hey, you never know. So what's your favorite piece in your collection? Do you have like a holy grail?
Like, boy, I would have to, because to be honest, like you guys have really brought me into like the video game collector mindset. And right now I'm thinking about a train game. I don't know why, but I think of my collection as like this. I love every piece of it because it's they're all kind of sentimental to me. But if I had to think of something, like I have Mega Man 1, which I think is kind of rare. It has some like weird art on the front. I have Mega Man 2 as well, which I think is kind of rare, but probably not. What do I have that would be at all
I think
impressive?
Higher the number, the rarer it is.
Well,
when it comes to Nintendo Mega Mans,
really?
But I could be wrong.
So
yeah, I think Mega Man 6 would be the rarest.
So I definitely have Mega Man 1 to 5. I don't think I have 6. I wonder if I have anything that's really rare. Like I have Mighty Morphin Power
What's the
Rangers.
thing that you display on your shelf, or do you just keep everything in buckets?
Yeah,
far away from your lady.
Mostly what gets displayed now is like statues. Like I have various. Like I have a Mega Man statue. I have like a Jean-Luc Picard statue. You know, I've like there are more things that can blend in with the sort of mise en scène of our house. My games are either in a basement at my parents' house, or I have a small cabinet of stuff in there. I have an original Game Genie. How rare are those bad boys?
Not that rare.
Yeah.
$20 rare. They're not
super
bad to pay for.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think what's something that I haven't seen like crazy. I have this game called Scat. You ever heard of Scat?
I think so.
I feel like I have.
Okay, so it's basically Jetpack Contra. Scat stands for Special Cybernetic Attack Team, and it's like basically Contra if both your guys had jetpacks.
That sounds pretty rad.
It's pretty dope. I have this other game called Twin Eagles. You know Twin Eagles?
Never heard of that.
Okay.
I do know Scat though. I just looked it up. Yeah,
it's a shmup, a 2-player shmup. I would play with my brother, and to me, like I didn't know shoot 'em ups were like at the time like a genre, and it was the first time I'd ever seen something like that. And for the day, it has like it's like really fast paced action. I have another game called Jackal. You ever heard of Jackal?
Yeah.
So you're both Jeeps, and the screen kind of moves.
Yes.
And there's power-ups and stuff. It has this like wicked soundtrack. I'm pretty sure it's fairly thrashing metal. It really slaps. That's something I haven't seen, a lot of, but I don't like, it's hard for me to identify any of my gems because I haven't like looked through them with that lens.
Honestly, if you have 350 plus Nintendo games, I'm sure you have at least 10 gems in there that are like $100+ or more, even if they're cartridge only.
Really?
Like you might have a Samson, which is a $2,000 cartridge. So little Samson, and that is an actual like Bible game, but officially released by Nintendo.
Oh wow!
So you should definitely look.
If it's a Bible game, I have a pretty decent shot at owning it.
There you go.
It was a great cartridge, and it was like one of the last Nintendo games that came out, but little Samson is Samson and Goliath, I believe, from the Bible. And it's a fun, it's
the guy with the hair.
So Samson and Delilah. So Samson's a great cautionary tale in the Bible. So Samson's this dude that God has given like Herculean level strength. He's like the strongest guy around. And Delilah shows up, and he loves Delilah, and he's got this like wicked hair, and she keeps telling him that he needs to cut his hair. And he refuses because he's a wild man and he's his own man. And he knows that Delilah is not going to take no for an answer, and knows he's going to like she's going to cut his hair in the night. So he like wears a fake wig that she then cuts like a
so smart.
like a terrible human. And he's like, psych, still got my hair, still super strong. But then she does finally cut his hair, and he loses his strength, and he gets his eyes gouged out. And in his final act, God gives him back temporary strength, and he like pulls the pillars of this temple he's chained to down, and he kills everybody. A nice bedtime story.
Yeah, truly.
So this is little Samson. So he like kicks ass.
Nice.
And I think it's like 4 levels, but it's a $2,000 cartridge nowadays.
That's on brand for Samson for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it might be like $1,200, but it's been a while since I looked it up. But yeah, it's a rare game. So you should definitely look it up.
So I likely don't have that one just because if you said it's at the end of the life cycle, D-Day for these sweet children that we got the game from probably happened about halfway through the life cycle. So Samson's probably not included, sadly.
You never know.
You never know.
Next time you're at your parents', you should take a picture of everything and send it to me.
I will, brother. I will for sure.
And I'll let you know. Yeah.
So to get off of the NES talk for a moment, with the new generation of consoles coming out here, are you going to be an early adopter for either of the platforms at all?
I'm in a tough bind because I'm normally not an early adopter. I want them to work out all the kinks. I want the red ring of death to hit somebody else. I want to maybe see a price drop, maybe. But with me doing the pod, I might have to buy that early PS5. So I'm like really conflicted about that, Kelly. It's like I'm in a real quandary.
I agree. I'm kind of in a quandary myself. I need a new Xbox in a way that I'm still running the original Xbox One. Like, I don't have the Xbox One X or any of the other letters that came after it.
Mhm.
So this baby's just been trucking for years, and I feel like it's just going to shit the bed on me one day, and I'm going to be fucked. And the other thing is that we've got the PS5 coming out with a Ratchet and Clank launch title, which is my game, and it's like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah,
that
it's a toughie.
PS5 price tag is also kind of scary right now too, with only one game that I want currently. I mean, there's a lot of other games that are coming out for it that are definitely, going to be great games, but buying that very expensive system for almost one game alone, and I don't even buy PS Plus, I only buy the Xbox Live, so I don't know. It's a hard spot to be in right now, that choice. Who knows? Let's see. What of our next question we have for you? All right. What's your favorite game to play while high?
I really, really enjoy single player throwing on any of the new Batmans because you can just load up a game and just cruise around the city. And when you're feeling it, drop down and just thrash the ever loving shit out of 6 to 10 guys. And that's enjoyable, I think, at any speed. So
like an open world kind of vibe more than anything else?
Yeah, like an Arkham City or an Arkham Knight. I used to have an Xbox that I had modded to have like 100 billion games on it, and we would play Xbox Roulette and just play something random, and we'd end up playing just the craziest, most weird versions of games. Like I was talking about on the last pod. There's like 1,000 different Street Fighters because the modding community, the competition community, back when it was just arcade cabinets, made all these different variations of Street Fighter. Like this one, the fireballs are purple and they go triple speed, or everybody goes 10 times speed, or throws do 4 times the damage. Some of them have like palette swaps. People's colors are inverted. And we actually had to make a rule that this roulette, we do no Street Fighter because 10% of the 100,000 games were Street Fighter titles modded to be crazy. So it was really fun to do that. But we'd always finish the night with versus Tetris. Usually either Dr. Mario or Tetris 2-player showdown. That's a really good inebriated game.
Yeah, I can see how a retro game would be a really good thing to play while you're high because you can just sit back and just enjoy it. Like you don't have to worry about all the complexities of like a 3-dimensional open world vibe.
Yeah. This will hit you where you live. If you're having like a party and everybody's hitting that special time when everybody's feeling glowing and warm, if you pull out any version of Mario Kart, you're going to be a superstar.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I agree.
And you can learn a lot about people by what character they select. Like if somebody picks Bowser, you know that they're a dick. That they're out to get you. They want to crush your life. They want to steal your girlfriend. Like that's what's up. Somebody who's playing Toad, you can trust them with your life. You know what I mean? You know they're a kind heart, a beautiful soul.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Are you a Toad? Are you Toad, lass?
I like Toad on the N64, but when we get into the newer ones, I usually go for Daisy when she's an option.
Now, is Daisy Luigi's girlfriend? Is that how that works?
I guess. I guess it's essentially like you have the yin and the yang of each character. So she's the yin or yang, however you look at it, to Peach, as is the Luigi is to Mario, as is Wario and Waluigi. And then I guess you could even say that they're yin and yang to Mario and Luigi. But then there is no yin and yang to Peach and Daisy. I don't know, man.
I get it. That metaphor got into trouble, but I got what you were getting at. I got to throw it out there. If somebody picks Yoshi, what does that mean about them? What do you think?
Oh.
I always pick Yoshi, so yeah, please, go.
All right.
No, don't change what you're going to say.
No, I was not. I was going to
I shouldn't have said it.
No, I was going to say one of my close friends always picks Yoshi too. And
Okay.
he just brings chaos wherever he goes. So I would say Yoshi is a true chaotic being.
I feel you on that. I was going to say Yoshi definitely eats ass.
That tongue, absolutely.
Yes.
No.
That's a horrible Yoshi impersonation, but
I think it was pretty good.
I think it was.
So, like, in Super Mario World, Super Mario's definitely punching Yoshi in the back of the head, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, to get him to stick his tongue out?
Yeah, have you ever seen two ducks fuck?
I want to say no.
I'm definitely saying no.
So it's sort of like that with Super Mario World, where the male duck will get on top of the female duck, usually in a body of water, and poke at the back of her head and push it down into the water. But when she comes back out of the water, she's like, blah, 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 like trying to catch her breath. And it's a horrible sight to see, and it's even worse hearing it. But yeah, when I lived out on a farm in Oregon, I would hear it every time I was in the garden working, and I'm like, oh, there's another duck getting fucked.
All right, country vibes, Bo. Those are some country vibes.
Yes.
I want to not say what I'm about to say, but I can't stop. Did you know that a duck's penis is shaped like a corkscrew?
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to see this, but I'm looking it up right now.
This is a real thing. And they figure that it's an evolutionary thing because there's a lot of like unwanted duck sex going on. So they figured that the females adapted a sort of corkscrew situation for their business. And so the counter adaptation is the ducks.
Oh my gosh.
The male ducks adapted this thing as well. And the duck penis inflates so fast, sometimes they explode.
Okay. I just hope that whatever reincarnation I come back as, it is not a duck.
It seems like a fair choice. And I think the last thing that I promise you both I'm going to say about this is it's so much a thing, so much unwanted duck sex is happening. There is two different setups because it either corkscrews one way or the other. And so any two ducks only have like a 50-50 chance of being compatible because they might be a lefty and you might be a righty.
It's like going up to and be like, hey, you an itty or an outie? Are you a lefty or are you a righty?
That's exactly it. I wish it was like that. There needs to be more consent among ducks.
Yeah, they just really need to ask first, please.
It's just a, hey, how you feeling?
Hey, little mama, let me listen in your ear.
Hey, quack, quack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got any bread over there?
I know what all the best crumbs are.
Yes. All right. So the last question that I have for you, which is sort of an inside question, if you are familiar with the Purple Dungeon Squid and have listened to them, which you all should by now, but can you tell our audience how you really feel about Pokemon?
Oh, shit. So
you didn't see this coming, did you?
Bo, I know where you sit on this, and let me just say, mostly I hate on Pokemon because I know how much Andy likes it. Like, not just likes it, like it's his formative childhood game.
Yes.
So I've framed Pokemon as a kind of Michael Vick style dogfight training sort of slave labor camp situation. And that makes me feel really good. In the way that I can really sully on this thing that Andy really loves. But, you know, at some level, like, you're enslaving those Pokemon, right, dude?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, one of our podcasts was entitled Inside a Pokeball.
Yeah.
And I remember Tony and I trying to figure out what it's like to be inside a Pokeball. Like, is it hell? Or is it like a lovely chamber with a TV and a comfy couch that they sit in until they're called out, and then they got a fucking thunder strike out of their butthole, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden. Like, what is it, you know? Or is it just purgatory blackness? You know? Really what it comes down to, though, it is animal cruelty.
A little bit. And I mean, it's a good thing that they can only say like Snorlax or Pikachu, because the horrors they would have to share otherwise. Like, that's one of the other things too. You know that animal can kind of talk. And I say animal, and Andy will go, no, Pokemon. I'm like, come on, man. Potato. Like, it is talking to you right now. There's something up there. And what I thought was really messed up is they eat Magikarp, right? So do they eat?
Yeah.
Do they eat other Pokemon?
Yeah, they have to.
Oh no.
And I am sure that there's some Pokemon that people fuck too.
Oh,
you know?
oh dear Lord. Well, so that's fair. What's the most fuckable Pokemon, Bo?
Probably Mr. Mime. I don't know.
Mr. Mime. He'd be a freak, man.
Or Psyduck. I don't know.
Objection to the play. It's only because we've talked about so much duck horniness that you went there. That's just we reprogrammed you for that.
I'm still thinking about that. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Jigglypuff is probably a tender sexual partner.
She'll
like a cloud. What was that, Kelly?
sing you to sleep.
True.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that Psyduck has a corkscrew then, or
fact?
Back to that.
Yeah,
definitely
2 corkscrews.
Is this the first XXX episode of Precisely? And is it my fault?
No,
definitely not.
All right,
no.
Fair enough.
No, it usually gets perverted way earlier in the podcast.
All right, I dig.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, they definitely eat Magikarp. What else do they eat, Pokemon-wise?
They get milk from Milk Tank.
There's a Pokemon called Milk Tank?
Yeah, it's a cow.
Does he evolve into Cum Dumpster? Like, what?
No, surprisingly.
He does not evolve, actually, at all. I don't think he has... He's just a big fucking cow that's pink.
And just like these little udders and everything. Yeah.
And you know what? I think Milk Tank is what? Second, third, fourth generation?
I think.
Yeah, so before that, they didn't even have milk, so fuck it.
Now, there's also actual, like, familiar animals in the poker world as well, right? Like, they have dogs and cats and birds, right? Or are all animals Pokemon, pocket monsters?
They got Pidgeys, which are pigeons.
Right, but do they also have pigeons, though? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes, they actually do.
That's kind of wild, eh?
Yeah, but I can't think of the name, but I know it's in Pokemon Go where it actually looks like a pigeon, whereas Pidgey does not look like a pigeon. It looks like a...
but he's saying, like, is there a real life pigeon inside of Pokemon? And I think the answer...
Oh, no.
So,
no, like, you wouldn't see Snoopy or whatnot.
You wouldn't in
Pokemon world.
You'd be like, oh, that's a nice dog. You would say, like, oh, that's a nice lollipop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, does Ash Ketchum have a Pikachu and also a Saint Bernard?
No.
Okay, got you.
Definitely not.
Do not exist. It's only Pokemon. It is all Pokemon.
Yeah, because if you ever saw like that new Pokemon movie, Detective Pikachu, did you watch that?
I did see that. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, there was no pets. It was all Pokemon, and there was like Charmanders that were like cooking, and Machokes that were directing traffic. It was like a symbiotic world with humans and Pokemon.
Very talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next Pokemon movie should be like a Planet of the Apes style uprising where the Pokemon fight for their freedom over their human oppressors. I would go see that.
So would I, but do you think people would like Pokemon still? Or would they like be like super scared to even turn on their app to play Pokemon Go?
Yeah, I think it eventually becomes like a Godzilla situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be super scary. And what about legendary Pokemon? Like, is there only one of them, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Like I really don't understand that.
You're floating a little bit out of my wheelhouse because I just have a casual disdain, and I've now said every Pokemon that I'm aware of. So I'm getting into trouble a little bit here. I can fake it a bit, but
Yeah.
a legendary Pokemon is like what exactly?
Like Mewtwo or Mew or Ho-Ho or Lugia. I'm surprised I fucking know all these names.
Impressive.
What else? Zapdos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The three birds.
Moltres.
Yes, Moltres. So yeah, like there's only one of them, but yet Ash Ketchum can catch all of them. You know,
That's because his last name is Ketchum.
So he's essentially like hunting the last white rhino.
He's essentially
but like 10 of them.
poacher. Yes.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, this is a dark future.
It is, right? I don't mind it though.
Yeah, it seems like a solid
It's
game.
fun.
I you know what? If it came up
It
during
is.
my era, I probably would have been a game I played for sure.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Pokemon and then like offshoots like Digimon, I totally would choose Pokemon for like real world life. Like, I would not want Digimon and be like, oh, you're a Mon. You know, like, no. Like, I don't want a triple Mon. I want like a Charmander, not a controller Mon.
I like
Or a Brickmon or whatever they are, you know? It's like, no.
I like how Pokemon Universe is like, there's no guns in this Pokemon Universe. Meanwhile, Digimon is just like Gunmon. He's like a gun that has guns and a cowboy hat.
Yes. It's so bad. It's not good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, anything else that you want to tell our listeners about the Purple Dungeon Squid and why they should listen to you guys?
You know what? Like, if you listen to Precisely, you don't need to bother with us. This is the better podcast. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. No, like, if you dig this, you probably dig us too. We're it's a little bit of a different flow, but along the same lines, we would love to have you. And you know, I'm just really glad to make my way onto the podcast. Like, it's been a blast, and it's been a weird thing because I listen to you guys. And you'll see here, like a couple moments I forget to speak. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm live and here. I'm here in the flesh, and I'm just so thankful that you guys had us on. Me.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to come onto your podcast. You know, that was in the talks for probably over a year now, but I had to start my own podcast to have you on because that never happened.
That's right. It was all a plan to show, just to give you that loving push into your own podcast
Exactly.
territory. God damn it, we will have you on the Purple Dungeon Squid. We reschedule about 4 times before we record, so get ready for that.
Yes,
and
I
you know,
figured.
get ready for all the hijinks that go down on our side. But we would love that, man. And furthermore, you guys have to get your butts up to the Great White North and visit some of our 265 breweries here in Ontario. I think you'd love it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a great time. I've never been to Canada. I would love to go.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm allowed to go.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll sneak you in, buddy.
Okay.
Why don't we get you one of those federal pardons, and then we'll sneak you in.
Syrup.
I'll dress up as a Reese's Pieces
Oh,
Yeah.
from Hershey's.
Ooh.
Be like, hey, Canada's. I'm a chocolate bar.
I'm a chocolate bar.
Dude, Reese's Pieces is not a chocolate bar. It's individual.
I'm 2 pieces of peanut butter with chocolate around. You know what I'm talking about. All right, let's get into the damn topic of tonight. So Dan, you came up with this topic. I thought it was great. It's what's your top 3 couch co-op games? And when you first said this to me, I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, oh man, Mario Party's great. Mario Kart's great. And I'm thinking about these games, and then I'm like, wait, couch co-op means that you're actually working with the person next to you, not just playing a multiplayer game. So yes, couch co-op, where it's 2 people or more, I guess, trying to go for the same goal and not competing against each other. Right?
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's the vibe. It's not competitive. That's out. And you guys have to be in the same physical space. So it can't be like an online thing. We're talking like the old school co-op vibe. which I think really has its roots inside of the arcade. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
for sure. So you start us off then, Dan.
Well, listen, I got to start my list real deep, really, really deep in history. And the NES, I think, is like the warm bastion of couch co-op games. And I think that my favorite is a deep cut, is the Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Is this a game you're familiar with, guys?
Yeah.
Now,
It is.
Now, this game is something I dumped many hours into, and you are playing the eponymous Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. And what I love about it is it's got this Mega Man vibe, but with a very cartoony overtone. And they left you as chipmunk-sized, but yet you still possess little fun outfits. A furry aviator's jacket and a Tom Selleck style Magnum PI Hawaiian shirt. So you are still miniature. So you're moving your way around this miniature world using mechanics to like move screws up or nuts up screws to like go up in levels, throwing boxes hither and yon, boosting your partner over obstacles. And it really harnessed both like an honest sort of pure cuteness, like a child's innocence, whilst forcing you to work together. You could not just sort of separately go around kicking ass with giant muscled dudes or huge machine guns. You had to sort of help each other along. And in this game, the throwable box is the deadliest weapon, and you use it to great effect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a very playable and fun game. You can throw each other. You can catch things your buddies thrown. It's got this great soundtrack. I have to put it way up there. And like NES is no slouch. It's got a bunch of just baller co-op games. Like we're talking Battletoads, we're talking Bubble Bobble, we're talking, the Ninja Turtle games of that era, Manhattan Project and the arcade game. But this is the one that's got a special place next to my heart.
Absolutely. It's a great game for the Nintendo.
So my number 2 that has a special place as well is one of the arcade ports that made it to the Super NES, the Super Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely a top game. I actually just played this.
This is an awesome game. It made use of the multi-tap on the Super Nintendo, so you could get 4 players on you're in your living room, all your buddies. I don't think I ever like fielded a full team, but I'm sure some people did. It had a lot of features that you hadn't seen in games before. Like you could grab foot soldiers and throw them into the screen. So you would throw them towards camera. And there's actually a boss. You fight Shredder, who's like in this mecha robot, and he becomes the screen. So you're kind of looking through his vision. So to defeat this boss, cool. You got to whip foot soldiers into his view and crack his screen to sort of beat this boss. So they use this mechanic really well. Very cartoon enemies. Kelly, do you remember Baxter Stockman, the Fly?
Mm-hmm.
He's got this very cool, he's mutated and gross. He's got this kind of cool like fly swatter gun that fires this sort of gooey hand that turns into a hand or a fly swatter, if I recall correctly.
It's just this big hand coming at you.
Yeah. One of the sort of 90s kids nostalgia packed games. It has everything from the sort of the cartoon. You see all your favorite villains, Bebop and Rocksteady, and it's your classic side scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah, I just, it's funny you brought this one up in the conversation as we were trying to get this podcast ready, because I literally just played this game, what was it, last weekend with one of my friends came over and her husband was working on the floor in the basement with Scott, and we were just upstairs playing video games, and we were just jiving off of some retro couch co-op games, and that was one of them that I threw in, and we had a great time just playing and running through, just like a side scroller beat 'em up. You cannot beat that. Like we threw that in, we threw Sunset Riders in, it was a good time to just go through and play, and just like that retro vibe that you're sitting on the same couch with the person and just playing the game together. So good.
You so got it. And like before the internet was a thing, there was this assumption that so many games were going to have some sort of multiplayer element to them, right? Like unless it was an RPG or, you know, another kind of niche game, they usually tried to make some sort of multiplayer work into it. And so in these early consoles, you got a ton of that, especially like between NES. Like I looked at NES, NES, Sega, and Super NES. That's where like the golden spot for co-op games were. There are some now, but like once you got to 64, the co-op games in 64 are like few and far between. They kind of stopped being a thing, even though the 64 has 4 controller ports. It's ready to go on things like, Mario Kart and
007.
You took the words out of my mouth, man. 007 for sure. But it's not like a true co-op. It's like this deathmatch thing.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. It's multiplayer. Who's the best out of the 4 of us?
Who can duck, strafe, shoot me in the head?
Yeah. Absolutely. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was a competition world then, which that's what we wanted. That's how we wanted to evolve games, was who can be the best out of the 4 of us.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, how can we beat this game together?
Yeah.
Like internet was just coming out too around then as well, dial up. So it was just all about being the best. Whereas before internet, it was how can we beat this without internet?
Yeah.
Without us knowing what internet was,
That's right.
but like, how do you play this game, on a sleepover and try to beat Mario 3,
Yeah.
like how can we do it in 6 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Now, now that we open the topic, I got to know, so I can know your souls. Who do you pick for 007 Deathmatch?
And Odd Job is out, right?
Well, you can pick Odd Job. That's going to tell me something, right?
Yeah. Who was the guy with the jaw claw?
Jaws.
Jaws, yeah.
Who's the guy with the jaw thing? He has it's metal. It's in his face where his jaw would be.
Metal
What is
jaw
his
man.
name? Yeah. Crunchy jaw face. Yeah, Jaws.
Yep.
That's a
Jaw claws.
baller move because you're going for an intimidation factor, knowing full well you are 1.5 times easier to shoot.
Am I?
Yeah, he's a bigger dude. He's the opposite of Random Task.
Isn't that so weird that they did that? Like they made different sizes. Like it was almost like Mario Kart, whereas like Toad is smaller, so he is faster.
Yeah, for real.
Whereas Bowser is bigger, so he's slower but more powerful and can run into you.
When you run into Jaws in the actual game, I think it's the ruins. I forget what the level is. It's one of the extra levels that you can unlock in the game. He does have like 300% or something health because you can laser Jaws in the face with double lasers for like 10 seconds before he actually takes a dirt nap.
Damn.
Yeah, he's not messing around. Kelly, I gotta know, who's your GoldenEye guy?
I believe I usually go Jaws too.
Double Jaws.
No.
This is a moment, guys.
I'm pretty sure that's. I mean, I haven't played in a while, but I'm pretty sure that's my most picked character.
Yeah, that or like a female character, but I can't remember any other names.
There's like Natalia, who's the girl with the blue shirt.
Yeah.
There is Xenia Onatop, who's the girl in the movie that kills men with her, like crushing them with her hips.
God bless her.
She was so terribly erotic to 12-year-old Dank Dan. I'm like, I am getting a strange feeling about this.
I just want to crush people with my own hips now. Just like,
Yeah.
I think it was more like, I don't know, that looks like painful, but I think I might be okay with that. I think I might slide up in those DMs. Now, with a sneaky ROM hack with this game, you could uncover the fact that they were going to include all the Bonds in multiplayer because there are picture placeholders, but if you load them up, you just get Pierce Brosnan. But my guy was Siberian Special Forces. He's all gray. So he blends into so many of the like backgrounds and you can sort of sneak your way around. So that was my go-to for sure.
Yep.
there you go.
It feels good. So Last but not least, I've cheated a little for my last selection.
How about you save your last?
Oh,
How about
okay.
you save your
I'll
last?
save it.
And we'll go with Kelly, her two.
I dig
and
that.
We'll go with my two, and then we'll go back to you for your last.
Final
and go back around.
reveal. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Okay.
All
right. Well, yeah, this was definitely a little bit more difficult when we took out the fact that we were literally trying to co-op and not go against.
Yes, right? I was dumb to think that way, but I'm glad I'm not in the same boat.
No, it's not dumb to think that. It's just when you think couch co-op, you think that you can just have a multiplayer mode most times, and it doesn't matter if you're going against or you're together. However, I think my top three would be, I'll say, like, I really enjoy when somebody comes over and you just kind of play a Rock Band game or a Guitar Hero game. That's kind of a fun time. So you're not really going against each other. You're kind of working together to get your score to be high enough that you don't fail out of the whole song, but then you get to work together and create some music. So I kind of like playing those with people when they come over. And I don't really play them a lot by myself, but they've always been kind of a group game that I enjoy. So any of the Guitar Hero or Rock Band games, I'll throw in as my third.
Is it weird that I've never played any of them?
How?
It's not weird. It's just it's been such a long running franchise that I'm kind of surprised that you haven't at least tried it once.
And like, you're a collector, Bo. You must have waded through just seas of these peripherals that people are just desperately trying to get rid of.
I've sold a lot of them, and I probably still have like 3 in my closet right now that need to be listed. But yeah,
well, man,
I'm just not musically inclined, so I never like felt the want to play.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bo, you strike me as a drummer, buddy. I feel like you could drum your ass off.
Well, okay, so yes, I did play drums in 5th grade, like 4th and 5th grade. I was in band.
Humble brag.
And I wasn't that great. If I forgot my drumsticks, my teacher would make us do push-ups and sit-ups and stuff, which was weird because it's not gym class, it's band class or practice. And it was during the Bill Clinton administration, and I might have said this on the podcast before, but he would teach us the drum like solos by saying Bill Clinton Monica, da 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 da, Bill Clinton Monica. And that's how I learned drums.
That's awesome, man.
At least the snare drum. But yeah. So I did play that.
Guys, can I have a brief sidebar? Your Honor, a brief sidebar. So for my birthday, my sweet lady gave me this awesome gift, and it was a bunch of stuff, but some of it was like things that my mom had held on to for a long time that I believe she was just trying to like get rid of some of the heaps of things she has. And in there were like a bunch of my report cards, and included in there was my grade 8 report card. And my music teacher said, in the comments to my grade, said, Daniel can serviceably play his instrument. He needs to disrupt class less.
Wow. I love it.
What instrument were you playing?
Boy, I wish it was something cool, but it was the clarinet.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's a support instrument of the woodwind variety, and it was like the instruments were being picked out, and by the time I got there, like trumpet was taken, drums were taken, guitar was taken, and it was down to like, so Daniel, would you like the flute or the clarinet? And I'm like, of the two, clarinet, please.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically the sister to the saxophone there, though. So
that's right, cousin to the bassoon.
Yes. So I mad respect as a saxophone player. Mad respect.
Oh, cool. Would you play alto?
Yes, a little tenor, a little alto. Dabbled in the soprano variety.
I like any song that's got a sax in it. Any song that's got a sax in it slaps. Like Careless Whisper, Dear Loud.
Mm-hmm. You can't go wrong with a little bit of a sax solo just thrown. Honestly, okay, I don't listen to a lot of popular music, but The Weeknd threw out a song recently, and he saxophone solo in the middle of it. I almost hit the floor.
You know what? The sax is back on tracks. It's coming back.
I am for it. I am here. The sax renaissance is happening, and I'm living it.
Kelly, I feel like you and I just became best friends. I'm not sure though. I'll have to check.
Yeah, I feel like you guys might just start a podcast without me, so that's okay.
Karate Garage.
Our new podcast, our side podcast, will be called Sax Tracks.
Yes. I like it.
We just break down each song with a saxophone solo in it. We
Correct.
could do that.
Worthwhile.
Quite a few.
15 minutes an episode. That's all we need.
That's all you need.
It's 13 minutes on saxophone topics, 2 minutes on duck genitalia.
Then like a ripping 5-minute saxophone.
That's right. That's right.
And then that's it.
It's the only podcast with a 10 minutes saxophone intro.
People are like, is this all of it?
Is this the whole thing? All right, guys, sidebar closed. I apologize for disrupting both Mrs. Brookster's class and this podcast.
No, it's fine.
I can't apologize for Mrs. Brookster, but you're fine for me.
Very well.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 2, I would say, is Borderlands. That's my second.
Mm-hmm.
This is a game that Scott and I play, and we've played it more on the not necessarily. You can do the couch co-op with the Xbox, but we necessarily play more on the PC, but in neighboring rooms because he likes to play PC games because he's a dweeb and doesn't like to hold controllers. So, but you can do the Xbox version and PlayStation version on couch co-op specifically too. But I enjoy playing that game with him. It's one of the first games that we played together, and it's just generally Borderlands is one of my favorite series, and the fact that it has a couch co-op feature for a game that is so new, I'll say. Even the newest one still has it, so I guess yes. It's just fantastic that they keep that couch co-op going for that series, and they keep it alive for new games.
Absolutely. It's a great game.
I've
never played a co-op though.
I hate that series. Now, sorry, go ahead.
Friendship.
Yeah, friendship canceled. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. You have a tender heart for it, though. Podcast canceled before it began. You know what? I tried to love this, Kelly. I tried to love it. I bought every one, being like, "This is the one." But something about the art style makes my eyes bleed. And
you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah,
and that throws what most people off. I mean, honestly, I wish that you could get over that or like turn it off or something, because the humor and the just the fullness of all the shit that they put in there in the background and everything is just so good that I just wish that if you could just turn that off and just enjoy it as a 3D game.
And I agree with you. Like, it has everything that I usually would need to like a game. Like, it's got a unique art style, which is normally a good thing, but it just catches me the wrong way. And it's got this like tongue-in-cheek kind of dirty humor, but it's like 1% off than catching me like where I like it. Like, I'm so close to like a ha-ha, but it's just far enough out, just by 1%, that I'm like, oh, wah, wah. And you know what I noticed in the most latest one? I felt like, because I played the single player, because I really want to love this game, Kelly, and it felt like all the things my character was doing, when it cut to the cutscene, it's like my character didn't do it. Some secondary character was getting all the glory. I'm like, but I just killed the guy with the gun. No, not okay, cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what? That actually rings a bell to me, because you guys reviewed Borderlands, or the newest one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were talking about the same thing, where you're like, the humor is just not there. It's not hitting like I want it to.
And like, I recognize it has the ingredients to make a funny cake, but for some reason it's not coming together for me. So I don't begrudge people that like it, because there's a good game in there. It's just, it's not for me. And like, I went out and purchased this game full pop. I was in my EB Games, which is GameStop for you guys. And I was talking to one of the guys there about it. And he's like, I tell you what, you buy this game, you don't like it, you bring it back, in 10 days, I'll give you a full refund, no questions asked. I said, I will give this game a full shake. And I come back on the 9th day. I'm like, Dale, it's not working. It's not working.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my 2 though. That's my top, I guess.
I like it.
There.
All right. So my first one would be the original Halo or Halo 2 for the original Xbox. To me, this like epitomized what couch co-op was, and having sleepovers and being with your buddy being like, bro, we are taking down the aliens tonight. And you're like, cool. Who's driving the Warthog? And it was always me. I always fucking drove the Warthog because I was the best driver and I loved it. And my buddy, whoever was spending the night, or if I was spending the night at a friend's house, they were the gunner and we would just fucking wreck ship. And it was a great game. There's like just the whole couch co-op aspect. If one of your friends, like if you went ahead or your friend went ahead and got sniped or killed by an alien, you could be in the background and make them respawn, by you not being a dead man as well, which also helped. I think that's one of the best things about couch co-op games where there is death involved, is that you can always help respawn your teammate by not being dead. My second game, though, I'm like torn between one that I mentioned to you guys and one that I just thought about right now. I'm gonna go with one that I just thought about now. It's Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
Ooh, now it lets you because I was thinking about Donkey Kong. I was like, is that 2-player? Is the original Donkey Kong Country for Super Nintendo 2-player?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought
it
so.
Is.
Okay,
it is. But so for the Super Nintendo, it was sort of like Sonic did this too, right? Where like once the first person died, the second person was in control then.
Right,
Kelly?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. So like you would be Diddy Kong if Donkey Kong died.
Right. Or if you hit select, it puts the other guy into the hot seat.
Yes, absolutely. So with Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, though, we're both playing at the same time. Where we now I'm like questioning myself if that's the truth, but no, I'm pretty sure.
You're both playing at the same time.
We're both playing at the same time. So like if there was like a cart that you, like a mine cart that you had to jump into, or like a submarine or like an airship or something like that, which were all barrels of some sort that you had to jump into, one person would control that. And if you died, both of you died. But just the platforming aspect of it, both of you guys are playing the whole time. So my wife and I beat this game and like 99% completed it. There's something that we're missing in the game that I don't know what it is, but eventually we'll find it someday when we go back to it.
That's impressive. Tropical Freeze is hard.
It's hard as fuck. Yeah, and I love hard platformers like that. Like it makes me feel like I'm living, when I'm playing a game like that, where like I'll go to bed fucking angry as shit if I didn't beat that last level, but I still died 60 times in a row. So eventually I need to go to bed, and then I'll pick it up the next day and beat it and be like, okay, cool. So we went through it. And what's great about the whole co-op aspect of it, especially with the newer version on the Switch, is that my wife was able to play as Funky Kong, which he automatically has an extra heart. He floats longer in the air. It's just like the handicap novice player that you want to be if you're a noob, I guess, to platformer games, or like you're just not as good, So it worked out where I was like, hey, I'm going to do this really hard part platforming. Can you just sit back and not die? And then in case I die, you can just hit my barrel that's floating in the air and I'll pop back up. And so we did that, and that helped me be able to beat the game with her. Like there was aspects like near the end of the game where she's just like, I can't be here. Like there's not even a reason for me to respawn. because the map's moving and I have to move with the map. You know, it's like, I'll just be wasting our lives if I keep playing. So you just do it yourself. Sure, I did that. But just for the regular levels, it was great for her to hold back in certain areas where I'm just like, chill, let me make sure that I can get from A to B. So
Playing the anchor position.
Yes, exactly.
Good strategy.
Making sure that we live another day.
Going back to Halo, because you said it really quick, that's such a good pick. And I firmly believe that as a co-op game, you've like hit the nail on the head. And I also think that game starts at legendary. You know what I mean? Everything else leading up to legendary difficulty for co-op is like training wheels. And then the real game starts at legendary. And that game pulls no punches. Like brothers and are forged in fire of the fire of legendary Halo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's
a great game.
Those laser sword guys coming at you from all angles, like insta kill. That's when you separate the boys from the men.
Yeah.
The awkwardly Canadian from the possibly feminine.
Yeah.
Fair.
The ducks from the non-ducks.
Okay.
Quack, quack, motherfucker.
If a duck is playing Halo and it's beating me, I think I just give up at that point.
That's when it's time. That's when you know.
That's when you go in the towel. I think I'd quit. I'd quit all.
Pretty much.
You don't even have thumbs.
Quack, quack. All right, Dan, what's your last one?
So I cheated a little bit, but I couldn't resist. My top game is originally an arcade game, and it is maybe the most out of the side the box revolutionary sort of ambitious project that ever got put on. And this is a game called D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, Shadows over Mysteria. Have either of you guys heard of this?
I looked it up when you told me about it, and I was like, this looks like Golden Axe. But you're like, it looks like Golden Axe on steroids. And it does. It looks crazy.
It might be actually pronounced Mystera. I may have said that wrong. But yeah, this is a game that came out back in the 90s. It's a 4-player arcade cabinet. I believe there's 6 different characters you can pick, and they're like pulled out of the pages, Dungeons and Dragons. It's actually a mix of like classes and races, because you have cleric, that's a class, right? You got thief, that's a class. You got warrior, well, fighter's a class. It might be fighter, actually. You got magic user, which is a class from first edition D&D. You'd call them like wizard or mage now, but back in the old school, they called them magic user, real inventive. But then you just have elf, which is a race and not a class. You know, they just sort of feathered that in there. And like this game is like starts with the basics of a side-scrolling beat 'em up with weapons, because each of the dudes has got weapons. But then it adds on an inventory system. So as you progress through the game, each of the characters can pick up gear, a hat, armor, boots, a ring, an amulet. And then it has a secondary inventory where you pick up items, throwing daggers and burning oil and wands of cold, or rods of cold, rods of frost. And it features this story that has all these different permutations through it. You have branching paths where your characters can pick which way they want to go. And if it's 4 players, it becomes democratic. Like if whoever picks, like the choice that gets the majority of the picks. You have class specific skills. So you have like the thief can open up locked boxes. Otherwise you got to burn up keys, and there's secret rooms and traps to detect and magic spells to cast. Like, cause you know, think of like the great games like Golden Axe, you have a magic button. And it gets complex enough that you could like, how much magic do I want to use? But this game is so ambitious. You have like some of the casters have like 10 magic spells. So to make this one of the deepest, most ambitious side-scrolling games to ever be put to the arcade, and it is a ton of fun. I remember playing this once or twice when I was but a lad in the arcade. and I was overjoyed to see they had done a port to PlayStation, Xbox Live, and PC. And you can pick any of them up. This is a brutally hard game. Luckily, if you pick it up for any of those consoles, there's like little game modifiers you can put on to make it a little bit easier, a little bit more playable. And you have infinite quarters, so you can just play to your heart's content. And I have to say, this is one of the best co-op games out there. I got to give a secret runner-up to the Alien versus Predator arcade cabinet. Never got a port to any of the consoles, but you have 2 playable Predators, you have a playable Ninja Gal, and you have Arnold Schwarzenegger's brother in the lore. He's named something Hutch, but he's like a cybernetically augmented dude, and it's a full brawler beat 'em up. Tons of fun.
Oh, that sounds good. I have not played that. I've played neither cabinet, but they sound interesting, and if I ever come across it, I will definitely have to play it.
It's sad that Alien versus Predator never got a port, and I think it's like a licensing issue. But you can get your hands over on D&D Shadows over Mysteria or Mystera, and it is online capable. So you can get a couple buddies. Maybe the 3 of us should give it a go online. We might be able to fire something up.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
I'm down.
All right. Well, my number 1, it's kind of an all-encompassing, but I have to say my favorite couch co-op games are the Lego games. So essentially, any Lego game out there is couch co-op. I'll narrow it down and say Lego Star Wars because Star Wars is my favorite franchise, but Lego has covered Pirates of the Caribbean, it's covered Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Jurassic Park, like hundreds and hundreds of feels like of pop culture. Lego, like Marvel and DC and Batman and all this stuff. It feels like it's all like just all these games. But I love the Star Wars one because I grew up playing that with my sister. I just remember sitting on the floor playing PS2, and we're playing together because you're working through each level. You're trying to defeat all the enemies. You're trying to find all the secret collectibles, which I love secret collectibles. Trying to gather all the money that you can when you break things. And then you ultimately have to beat the level with getting enough money, getting all the collectibles, and just generally completing the level. And you get things for each of those. So it's like, it's the best couch co-op because you have to work together for collectibles and you have to work together to complete the level. So I think that the Lego games, and they still do it because my sister and I, whenever she comes to visit, we play Lego Harry Potter together on my Switch, and I haven't played it without her. Like, I will not play that game unless she's with me because I don't want to continue on the storyline without her there with me. Like, I don't want to do it without being co-op because it's just so fun for her and I to sit together on the couch and play for a couple hours and just go through the Harry Potter storyline, but it's Lego little people and you're doing fun stuff and it's cute too. I don't know. The Lego games they just continuously wow me, and I'm really looking forward to the Lego Skywalker Saga that's supposed to come out soon. So that's going to be the next one that I got to pick up, and I'm very, very excited. But if you have not played a Lego game for any system, essentially, I highly suggest trying it. It's something that everyone can play. I can play it with my cousin's kids. I can play it with my sister, who's like an intermediate gamer. I can play it with my friend who barely plays any games at all. It's just something everybody can do. It's just a really easy couch co-op game, and it's really fun.
So with the co-op for Lego, is there like a 2-player mode, or do you just hit up the second controller?
Just drop in with the second controller at any point in time or drop out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kelly,
that's awesome.
Such a good
and then
pick.
you're just a second character. Then you're just a second character, like a second Lego character.
Yes, and I mean you can swap characters, and they give you more options of characters as you go through. Or if you're in a free play mode of that level or whatever, you have more characters to choose from. But yeah, there's plenty of character options as you move through the level.
Very cool.
It's a solid pick, Kelly. I love this game and this series of game. I play them with my sweet lady all the time, and you nailed like the feeling of togetherness, you know, that it gives you to like push through the story. I don't think there's any better feeling that when you collect enough like coins to get that true Jedi that comes up.
And or like right there on the screen, you're like, yeah, I did it. Now I don't have to care about the coins. Now I just need to care about getting the other like bricks and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's such a good pick. That's you. I think you might have picked the best one so far.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, for sure.
I do enjoy them a lot.
Yeah, I've been actually buying a decent amount of Lego games for the Wii U because I'm going for a full collection on that, but that's for later story.
Yeah.
My final one is, and I'm sure I've talked about this before in the podcast. I know I have, but it's We Love Katamari.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the second iteration of Katamari after Katamari Damacy on the PS2. This is still for the PS2, but I remember playing this game with a friend after like showing a bunch of friends this game at parties. You know, like we'd all hang out, drink, smoke, whatever, and I'd be the one that would like bring my PS2 to the house, be like, hey, check out this game where all you do is roll up shit, you know, and like
Nerd.
Yeah, fucking nerd. But we all loved it because it was such an easy game to play. If you've never played a Katamari game, it just feels like second nature because it's all joysticks. You're literally only using the thumbsticks to move back and forth. You click them in to do a 180 turn around your ball, and you just roll up things. So you're not pressing buttons. You don't need anything. You just use both of your thumbs to press forward to move this ball forward. And one thing that we learned without reading the manual or knowing anything was someone picked up the second controller and was like, oh, there's a second character on the board, on the main hub. Oh, what's this do? You know, let's go talk to this one character in the main hub together. Oh, we can both join this game. And then we join the game. We're like, wait, there's only one Katamari ball, but we're both controlling it.
Wild.
And we realized that, you know, this one level that I just played where I had 7 minutes to beat this level, now we have 10 minutes to beat this level because two of us are playing it, which is sort of crazy to think about because two is better than one, but really our two minds have to become one to be able to play this game and master it. So it took a lot, but my one buddy and I really dived deep into it and had our whole like language being like left, right, flip, you know, like where we knew where to go to get the best possible score in each level. So by the end of the game, we rolled up everything you could possibly roll up. We were at 100% in this game because it added time by playing in co-op mode. But you had to be so in tune with your player too that that's why this is my number one couch co-op game.
You know what I love about your picks? They always include this like secret strategy that you've cooked up with like your gaming partner. I assume it's your life partner as well. But like
no, Kayla, no, my wife doesn't play Katamari with me because that will make her dizzy. Like she's a 2D platformer person. This is like I'm talking about like when I was like 15, 16
I got
years
you.
old.
Katamari is such a wild game. It's one of those games you're like, this feels so good. Why does this feel so good? And you said the second one point that's so clear. It's got that a little bit of Japanese weirdness that's just makes it so beautifully unique. What's the name of like the king that has the roses?
The King of the Cosmos.
Now, when you get 100%, doesn't he like shower you with roses or something?
Yeah, he's just like, oh, yeah, oh. You know, like, I forget exactly what he says, but he's just like, oh, you did so awesome. Like, if you get, like, 80 to 85% over, he's just like, oh, you're amazing. But, like, anything below that, he's just like, you could have done better, kid.
Because he's, like, he's a little bit horny for the Katamari ball, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, but he is also your father, but also God. So it's like, it sort of, like, goes back to the religious games, but in Japan. So it's like, as the prince, you are Jesus in the sense, like you are the son of God, and the king of the cosmos is God, and he's just always disappointed in you unless you're rolling up everything. And then he's like, all right, kid, you're good. Like, you can be my son tonight, you know? But if you're not rolling up everything, he's just like,
disowned.
I really wish you weren't my kid.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Harsh.
Yeah.
Just to like roll in the whole Japanese and the whole religious thing. Japan has about 1.5% of their population is Christian, yet about 85% of them have Christian ceremonies for their weddings. Not a little bizarre.
Coming in with the facts hard.
I'm
Dan.
always hitting the facts.
You always bring in the facts. Are you like looking this shit up online?
Nah, man.
Like while doing it, you just know
So
this is in your
here's
head.
a weird Dank Dan thing. Once I learn a fact, if it's interesting, it never leaves my brain for whatever reason.
Okay.
And
I feel you on that.
You're not the first person to be like, did you just look that up? Or like, what? How do you know that? I know some weird stuff, my dude.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just like re-listening to an older episode of yours today, right after the Joe Rogan podcast that was 5.5 hours long. I had like 20 minutes left in work that I was like, let me listen to Purple Dungeon Squid to like catch up on shit, you know, but it was like episode 20 something. And you guys talked about fucking penguins or something, like a fucking bird for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, you're like, let me bring up these facts where this penguin, its beak actually glows in the dark under a black light. What kind of bird is it?
Toucan.
No, it's not a toucan.
Are you sure?
No, it starts with a P.
A pelican.
It might not be.
Parrot?
Birds.
No.
Now I'm Googling birds that...
Something glows in the
beak
dark. No, it's not a penguin.
glows. This is great material under
Yes.
black light. Now I gotta know.
It might be black light.
The puffin. Yeah, the puffin.
Yeah, the puffin. Yeah. You guys had like a whole 20-minute segment about the puffin.
Very,
and you're
very
like,
key to the operation.
Yeah.
What I tell people is I know 2 things about everything, which makes me seem like I know a lot of things, but it's just 2 things. So after I tell you those 2 things, then you know everything I know. You're up to speed.
Absolutely. Yeah. Either way, it was good. It was a good episode.
Thanks, buddy.
So, yeah. So we got through our top 3. So that's our top 9. We asked our listeners, though, what their favorite couch co-op games are. Are you guys on Precisely Podcast's Instagram page to read these out?
Yeah.
Let me get on there.
Okay. So I'll read out the first one. We are going with The Chronicles of a Gamer, Mr. Bobby. He says, bro, I have so many. And damn, he does. Contra, Blades of Steel, Monsters in My Pocket, Chippendale, Rescue Rangers, the Streets of Rage franchise, Gunstar Heroes, Mario Kart, WWF Superstars, TMNT, Super Double Dragon, GoldenEye, Call of Duty, Rising Sun, WCW versus NWO, NHL 94, NHL 2000, The Warriors, Joust, Balloon Fight, etc. I can go on. Also, that guy on the couch looks like me. Literally any beat 'em up you can think of was his second comment. And I was like, all right, bro, you just named off everything. But okay.
All right.
Yeah. Great games, though, that he mentioned. Definitely my favorite one in that lineup was Gunstar Heroes. Such a good game.
That's a great title.
Mm-hmm.
So next we got Mr. Game and Brews. And he says, if I had to go old school, I used to love playing Streets of Rage 2 with my friends. Nowadays, my go-to co-op games are the Borderlands series. Hell yeah. My wife doesn't play video games often, but she knew I loved Borderlands and bought Borderlands 2 for me when it was released. I got her to start playing it with me, and she got just as hooked as I was. When we need something quick to pick up and put down, we'll play Overcooked. But that game kind of leads me to not like whoever I'm playing with. One of those friendship ender type games.
Yep.
All right, I'll hit one here. Random Retro AM says, River City Ransom is probably my most played co-op game. It was a huge game at the time with a lot to explore, tons of items to buy, and secrets to find. all made that much better with a second player. Not that River City Ransom is bad by any means, but adding a multiplayer feature to most game automatically makes it 10 times more enjoyable, no matter how bad the initial gameplay is. And true that.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. And that's one of our good friends that has been in the chat with you and me, Dan, since day one of Instagram.
Yeah, he's an OG.
OG.
Yeah, that's maybe why I cherry picked him. Good man.
Yeah,
Tip of the hat.
Yeah, I saw you cherry pick them. Yeah, all right. Well, I'll go back to the scheduled people on the list. Unsealed Game says Knights of the Round Fighting Force, Kaido, SMW, and Crisis Beat. So Fighting Force, I recognize. That's similar to one of our favorite games, Kelly, which I'm surprised we haven't mentioned. Dynamite Cop.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah. I was like, why didn't she mention this?
No, I could have.
Yeah, I know. We mention it all the time. But yeah, Fighting Force is very similar to that. It could be the same developers for all I know.
Next we got Twitchy Dougie, who says Battletoads Double Dragon and Rayman Origins.
Yeah, Battletoads Double Dragon is so good. You could be human, or you could be frog or toad.
It was one of the first, universe crossovers before any of these crossovers we're getting now. It's an OG one, and with the most unlikely of partners when amphibian met man.
Truly.
Yep.
All right, you want me to do one more?
Sure.
In no particular order, it's got to be Captain America and the Avengers. Awesome pick. Or Donkey Kong Country on the SNES, as far as nostalgia
Who
goes.
wrote that?
That's, Slam Cramps. Sorry, Slam Craps.
Oh, Slam Beat Craps. So this is the guy that's editing our podcast right now.
Ghetto. That's awesome.
Yeah.
More recently, but not that recent, House of the Dead 2 and 3, solid picks. Returns for the Wii have provided for some great times too.
Yeah.
Which goes back to your light gun episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like, light gun games for the most part are all multiplayer co-op where you both are in it to win it together. So yeah, absolutely. Donkey Kong Country for sure as well.
Mm-hmm.
Damn right.
So Ultra Cool Gamer Dude said TMNT, the arcade game, which that's what you said, Dan, right?
Well, he said Turtles in Time, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He said,
I mentioned it as an aside because I snuck in a list of 10 in my list of 3.
Yeah, right on. So he said, I was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure our guest has, a similar pick to that. And he said, my birthday is on April Fool's Day. When I was a kid, I opened up my last present and it was 20 pairs of Turtles underwear. I'm like, what the fuck? Pissed. Mom says to dig through the undies. Sure enough, TMNT was under all of them. April Fools, they all yelled. Great memory. Played the game nonstop as a kid. Never beat it though. Yeah.
Good stuff. Our buddies over at Lit Gaming Arena say, oh man, there are so many, and they are not wrong. Halo for starters. Overcooked is tons of fun with 4 people. I've spent tons of time on old school Left 4 Dead. Borderlands is always solid too.
There you go.
Well, J-Bam Official says, Tetris, because I have no friends. Cry emoticons.
He lies. He has so many friends.
J-Bam, we're your friends. Don't even play.
Yeah.
Don't even play.
Calm down. You know what? I've been to his house multiple times, and this motherfucker does not even want to play any video games.
hate to see it. I hate to see it.
Yeah. He has the biggest collection I know. I'm like, bro, let's play something. He's like, I'd rather not.
He's just got this giant room, and he opens the door. You're like, wow, and then he's slowly closing it. Nah,
we're talking a whole basement. You're more than welcome to look at it and play it yourself, or just talk about it. But to get him to play with you, nah, not happening. He's too tired. It's
like The Simpsons. We're gonna look at pictures of cakes. This is a Lady Baltimore cake. Do you have any real cakes?
Right.
Oh my, no, too sweet.
Yeah. I love it. I love him. He's a great guy. Shidoshi Game says Gauntlet Legends. Ugh, did I say that right? Gauntlet Legends.
You got it.
Which, yeah, thanks. I recognize this name from Nintendo 64, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Was it out before
Yeah,
that?
started on the NES. Gauntlet 1.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Was that a co-op game?
It was. It certainly was.
Okay.
And it's actually a pretty dope for the time and a little bit like fast paced for an era that was really like kind of slow. Your guy moves around really quick and it gets hectic. It's a little bit like it's built out like a dungeon crawler top down style.
Yeah.
Yeah. iHognut says it's cliche, but any Mario Kart always did justice growing up. My friends and I loved Turtles in Time as well as Contra. Good times, brother.
Cambridge with Leet Speak, I think it's Cambridge, keeps it short and sweet with Tekken 3. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah. I almost wanted to say that's not a co-op game, but we'll let it pass. Yeah.
It's multiplayer.
Joey Joe Jr. Shabadoo Doo says Contra and Gal's Panic, which Contra is definitely one of the best couch co-op games.
Foundational.
And Gal's Panic, I think I looked it up. It might be a shmup. But it's for the Saturn or arcade, he says.
Interesting. You got something to say about that one?
I was just going to say, I think this is a puzzle game that you like. It's one of these puzzle games that you slowly reveal a lady behind the puzzle, and she's like in moderate undress, sometimes blushing a little bit. That seems to be the game.
So you turn over the piece and there's a booby behind it.
There's some boobacular secrets behind there.
Honestly, good times. All right. MKN Retro Gamer says, I play a lot of team battle mode and Bomberman with my kids. It's a great experience and fun for all. You get to teach a bit of strategy. With a more adult couch crew, light gun games are a blast. Could not agree more. Light gun games are absolutely in the couch co-ops. I'd probably say top 5 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Nintendo Rose 91 says, I remember as a kid, it was F-Zero on the SNES, Super Mario World, and some Duck Hunt.
Nice.
We love Rose. She's great.
Mm-hmm.
C Mills rounds it out with, I'd say the most legit 2 bros getting shit done co-op games I've played with my friends have been Army of 2, Kane and Lynch, and Gears 1. I don't think I've ever played any of those games, actually.
A lot of them are Xbox exclusives or like PC crossovers. Army of 2, you have like 2 of the most like broed out mercenaries, and they really brought forward like the armored face mask, like a Jason Voorhees style like armor over your face, which makes sense. Like you always see guys with helmets. And you're like, hey, what if they shoot you in your favorite area, the face? And they took that at its word and got like a nice armored face mask. And it's like legitimately a game about drawing fire. So it's got an aggro system in it where you're taking cover, popping out and getting the aggro from the enemies. So they're concentrating fire on you while the other dude, like it does this flanking maneuver. And they had a couple sequels and a bunch of DLCs. I beat the first one and it's totally serviceable. Like it's a really fun co-op game.
Cool. Well, that's all we have. Do you guys want to talk about games that you played or just close this out? We've been going for 2.5 hours now.
Yeah, like I can throw one up. Like I'm playing. Well, before I tell you what I'm playing, I gotta give an honorable mention to a more contemporary PS game called Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that. I've heard great things, actually, about that game.
Which sounds a little bit like Gal's Panic, but it's not. It's very different. Mm-hmm. You're basically manning this ship that has 4 positions in it. There's 4 stations. One operates shields. The other one operates weapons. One drives the ship, and one hosts the super weapon called the Yamato. and you switch up your configurations in a kind of like Contra style power up pickup game. So you kind of pick the power ups through the levels that you enjoy and like work for the way you guys like to use the ship, different weapons, different shields, different engine types. And the trick is there are 5 stations, but there's only 2 people, although it lets you go up to 4 people. So you kind of have to move around as these little dudes in the ship to man the different stations. And the rest of the game kind of occurs like a space fighting game. You're moving around sort of north, south, east, and west. It's not 3-dimensional to make it through this level. And it is hectic and a ton of fun. And it has this super cute undertone. You're saving little animals from this dangerous environment, a little bit like Sonic. So it has this cute veneer over it. Me and my sweet lady played through the whole thing together. It's great, man. You got to check out Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time.
No, this is actually a game that I wish I would have bought on the Switch on a physical release from Super Rare, because I'm looking at it right now on eBay. I remembered hearing about this. It's now going anywhere between $250 to $300.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, on the Switch. Yeah. It's a rare game.
Yeah.
They only made 3,000 copies, and it's a good game, so that makes people want it. You know. And as a follow-up on another couch co-op game that I didn't say would be for the Super Nintendo, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Shout out to Shidoshi Games. He just took a picture of it for his like letter Z and his alphabetical like game thing for August. And it's my favorite letter Z game and probably one of my favorite Super Nintendo couch co-op games.
Is this a rare game, guys?
Zombies Ate My Neighbors?
No.
No. No, I wouldn't say so. It came out for the Genesis as well. It's a 16-bit shooter, not like shmup shooter, just like more like action shooter where you have water guns as bullets that never run out, but then you can get other weapons like popsicles and tomatoes and rocket launchers and clowns that you have to put clowns down if you're at the chainsaw level where there's like dudes with chainsaws and they fucking hackle and scream like crazy and it's super scary, but they're like chainsawing the bushes that you're like running through a maze and you're like, fuck, like there's no way to kill them unless you have a rocket launcher or you have a clown, like a blow up clown that you put out and they just chainsaw that for a while so you can run away from them. It's a crazy game.
Yeah, there's fun. Like environmental stuff as I recall too, like bounce on trampolines and
yep, and pools.
Yeah, that was a fun game.
And you got to weed whack like a crazy alien weed like animal type thing species. Yeah, it's super fun. So yeah, what games have you been playing? Have you said that?
Yeah,
Dan?
I was playing. I'm deep into Assassin's Creed Origins.
Okay, sure. Going back.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like one of the newer editions of the game. It's not the newest, but pretty close to the. And it stripped out everything that got me off Assassin's Creed. I don't know about you. Love the first one. It was almost like a tech demo. It was so revolutionary. And the second one was more the same, like some refinements, but you could start to see the cracks. And by the time I got through the next 2 games, like I was playing Black Flag and I loved the ship battle stuff like that. That was totally my thing. I love that. It was tactical and it was cool and you could upgrade your ship. But I had enough of all the missions that had been played out. Like when you have to follow a couple guys across rooftops to listen to them talk, and if you get too far away, you desynchronize just to hear them. I'm over it, man. I do not want to follow 2 guys talking for 10 different missions. And, the rest of the missions are cut and paste. The story was, in my opinion, like really bad. There's this level where you're infiltrating the assassins area, and for some reason your guy just starts knocking guys unconscious rather than murdering them. And I'm like, well, obviously I'm not murdering them because I'm going to join these guys, but I wouldn't know them. I'd be leaving up 100 dead bodies here. And then they're like, oh, you're going to join us. I'm like, I think I'm done here. But going to this new game, they've stripped out all those missions, those terrible follow missions. They're nary a mentioned. You're playing in ancient Egypt. and the way that it's such an interesting environment with the pyramids and the beautiful sweeping deserts and the jungles. Like when you watch the sunrise over, I think it's like Lake Mitra, it's just gorgeous. Like such a pretty game to look at. That said, I think I'm about 80% of the way through the game, and it has so many side missions, like an unbeatable amount of side missions, at least from my perspective, that I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm just going to close out the story and finish it. But it's the first Assassin's Creed since the early ones that it's recaptured my interest.
Cool.
Nice.
I've never actually played Origins, but yeah, Black Flag and the newest one, which is Odyssey, I've liked. Not like my go-to, but yeah, good games.
Cool. I've been playing I've been trying to get back into some open world games. So I've been playing some Borderlands 3. I've been playing some Fallout 76 because I feel like when it gets colder out, I get more into playing open world games for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's just like the season's changing and you just want to cuddle in and get under a blanket for like 6 hours and play a game. So I've been playing some of those. I also was playing my Ring Fit Adventure for the first time.
How is that?
It was fun. It's interesting because it goes along as a platformer for a little bit, kind of, which I really enjoyed that part. And then it kind of goes into some RPG elements, honestly. You've got these battles that come up and you have to do certain exercises to make these battles happen and pick out these certain attacks to defeat these monsters that are attacking you. And so that's kind of interesting too. I wasn't expecting to just be like jogging along and all of a sudden, boom, I got to battle this monster. So I kind of just like the jogging in place aspect platformer style of it. And I don't know, maybe I have to play a little bit more of it to like the battle style a little bit more, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I like how they use the ring. You can squeeze it in or out, or up and down into your chest to do certain things. And I think it's a really diverse peripheral that they made, which is super cool.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to pick up a copy and try it myself once I find one.
They're restocking. They're around.
Yeah. So I am almost done with Paper Mario. I've been playing it as much as I want to play other games. I'm like, I need to finish Paper Mario Origami King. And it's really good. Like, there's been so many fun aspects that, like, we didn't mention in our episode with Marcus from Lit Gaming Arena, that I'm sure you haven't gotten to yet if you haven't been playing it. But such, like, good little, like, short clips and stories, like, little side adventures. Like, this one part, I was in a mini game show, which usually happens in a Paper Mario game, but it was a lot of fun. It was like Jeopardy and stuff. But yeah, really enjoying that game. And I'm almost at the end. I could have beat it like 2 days ago, but got a game over and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go to bed, and haven't picked it up yet. Again, but one game that I did try that's new, I tried the Iron Man VR demo, which if you have a VR headset, which you do, Kelly, right?
Yes, I do.
Dan, do you?
I'm VRless.
Okay. This game is dope, and I'm not even like a Marvel or DC fan, comic book, anything, but I felt like Iron Man in this game. Like, you are flying with your hands, you have the motion controls, and you put them like behind your back, like Naruto or whatever from that anime, like how he runs, but you're Iron Man, and you put it behind your back, and you're like, boom, and you fucking just jet out of wherever, and then you put your hands in front of you and you press a different button, you're just zapping away, and then you can like double boost by like pressing the button twice behind your back, and it's just like fucking insane, like how you can like just like weave in and out of like these canyons and stuff. It's so cool. So
that
dope.
Sounds like the greatest endorsement that I've ever heard. Can you give Jarvis voice commands as you're going?
No, but like you have to like repair an airplane that's like getting taken down. Right. That you were just in. You had to fly out of it. You know, you had to fly out before you even had your Iron Man suit. Your Iron Man suit that was in a briefcase flew out of the plane first from being blown up. Your plane's going down. You're like, well, I guess I'm going to jump out and find my Iron Man suit. So you jump out of it, and like it's like, oh, here's my chest plate coming right at me at 1,000 miles an hour. There it goes. Oh, here's my right hand, you know, fucking projector arm. There it goes. And then your helmet finally comes on. You're like, I am Iron Man. And then like you have to like fly back to the ship while shooting these fucking spacecrafts out and like repair the ship in different areas. It's super fun. Like just for a demo, I was just like, this is great. Like for this being free, this was totally worth a half an hour of play that I was just like, I might actually buy this game, even though I'm not an Iron Man or Marvel fan or wherever Iron Man comes from. I'm just like, this made me feel like a superhero playing this game.
That's like that's the power fantasy, right? Like you can actually get into the seat of Iron Man, and he's the perfect candidate because he's just a dude in a super suit. Like just as like a brief aside, I have a lot of Spider-Man dreams where like I can web swing, and the idea of being able to get in the seat of a superhero is awesome. And I don't think they can VR Spider-Man as well because it's harder to sort of lift your legs up and swing. But Iron Man's like the perfect candidate for this thing, right?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, check it out if you have VR. It's free on the PlayStation Network. The demo is, at least. And I think the game just came out recently too. I think it came out like August 27th, but I haven't bought it yet. But yeah, it's a good game. But we're rolling up on 2 hours and 40 minutes, so I'm ready for bed.
Deep in the cast, man. Deep in it.
Deep.
Yeah. So thank you, Dan, for being on this podcast.
Oh,
you've been a pleasure.
It's my pleasure, man. This is so great to be on here with you and Kelly. Like, really awesome. Yeah, great show.
Yeah. No, you've been great. Everyone's great. Andy's great, but Andy needs to post a picture here sometime soon on Purple Dungeon Squid's Instagram.
Yeah, it's time. We'll have something up by this time. Yeah. Go check out the fresh material on Purple Dungeon Squid at Purple Dungeon Squid. We'll have something fresh, hot, and ready for you.
Yeah, it's just one word. It's a great Instagram too, as long as Andy keeps up with it, because that's not your part, right? Dan?
No, I only do all the recording, the editing, and the posting.
Yeah. So you do a great job, and you can find your podcasts anywhere that podcasts are found,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Just search up Purple Dungeon Squid, separate words, whereas Instagram is all one word. Right?
Mm-hmm. True say.
All right. So yeah, thank you,
My
Dan.
pleasure, guys.
Really appreciate it. Kelly, where can people find you?
People can find me on the Highway to Kel. You can find me on Untapped. You can find me on Instagram. You can find us collectively on Precise Podcast on Instagram.
Yes.
Well, where can we find you?
You can find me at Beaus, BEAUS _game room on Instagram. And just go to our website, precisely.live. We have hoodies and t-shirts. And you know what? Hoodie season is coming up right now because it's cold in the warehouse where I'm working. And, you know, they're on sale right now, right? They're like $30, $35, something.
Yeah.
They're cheap.
I'm going to get myself a hoodie. It's hoodie time.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
Go support the podcast. Help us, because we're trying to make money, a little bit extra money, to buy more stickers that we can ship out to everyone else for everything else that everyone's buying. So yeah, do that. And we appreciate all the listens. Go check out Purple Dungeon Squid at Purple Dungeon Squid on IG, and just search them up on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. But yeah, thank you, Dan, again, and we out.
We out.
Peace.